last time was the first day of your party's trip into the Feywild, accompanying Aldrin Silver and his two charges, Chiron and Endymion, a pair of twin Fey princelings who need to be conveyed to their father and their new keep deep in the wilderness to the west. They stayed home while Dad was out campaigning, and now that he has his castle, it is time for them to join him. So, Aldrin reached out to the gatekeeper for help. Gatekeeper said, I know some people, let me call in some favors. Bing, bang, boom, here you guys are. We're on an adventure. First couple of days were pretty chill. You guys got to the edge of the jungle. You guys camped out. Barnaby nearly killed the aforementioned awakened deer. There was a somewhat concerning altercation on the bridge spanning the falls that kind of stretched between the gatekeeper's jungle and the mainland. You guys convinced the deer that you were not a threat and sent them on their merry way.
We're chill, we swear!
Yeah, we swear.
And
as you guys were disembarking the bridge in the evening, you guys came across a group of nymph-like beings, these lampads, they were called, who apparently had some foreboding business out east, where you do know at this point that the scourge and the conflict surrounding it is taking place. Oh. Well, that's concerning. Can you get it out? Oh. Chani's brace just snapped off of one of her teeth, so that's cool.
Ow!
Yeah, one of the back of the teeth ones.
Right, retainer?
I guess. I don't know what that's called, but it's the little metal bar thing that they glue to the back of your teeth. And I guess it came loose.
Fun.
That is a retainer.
So while she's dealing with that, we'll wrap up the recap here. You guys dealt with the lampads. You very carefully kind of passed each other, let them go on their way. And the next day, you guys had a pretty gnarly fight with a group of sort of accursed, withered dryads who seem to have been the local spirits of this grove where a pretty ugly fight had broken out in the past couple of months between what seems to be members of Caecimian's retinue, as well as some strangers, which you did not recognize. So, we are picking up in the wake of that battle. You guys are sort of setting up your camp, you're getting situated. It is currently the evening of your fourth day out on the road in the Feywild, and at the time that you guys left the material plane, it was the 50th of Cairn. Are there any questions before we get to it? Did you get it? Okay.
What's going on over there?
There's a loose wire in the mouth.
Fun.
Careful about
Tasty.
Yeah,
Gives you extra iron, right?
I was gonna say, do we want to take a break so you can deal with that?
I don't know what to do. That's something I have to go to a dentist to get them to glue the other side back on.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of shit out of luck.
I don't think that's in the realm of dental emergency, but
yeah,
I do think that you have to see a dentist to fix that.
Yep.
Does it have to stay in? I don't know how that works. I don't have one.
If it's
so
a permanent retainer,
it's
probably glued onto the back teeth.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if you're going to continue,
I guess so.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do.
Fair.
I had one of those nights a while back where my crown fell out at like 11 p.m. and I'm like, well,
Well,
I guess I just don't have a crown tonight.
This is my life.
Yeah, there's a point that I got like one of my fillings in my back teeth fell out, and it was a big one, and I was just like, it's fine, and I continued to not see a dentist for like 2 months.
So moral, don't put it off for 2 months, Johnny. We'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
that
just
looked
don't be
at
me.
sooner
Just
than
don't be
later.
me, Johnny. It's a low bar.
Got it. Got it. Well, my big problem is I have dental insurance, but they never sent me my new card, and I can't log into my account. So I don't know how to get access to it.
I
Fine.
have a hunch that's a fixable problem.
Yeah. I'll just have to
That's
figure
just
that
a
out.
customer service call.
Yeah.
DM, my question is, how do you fix a broken retainer?
I don't know. I'm not a dentist. I'm a dungeon master.
Well,
No.
clearly a broken retainer isn't retaining,
I thought-
so you just gotta make it retain.
I thought DM meant dental master.
No. You want an MD, I think, a medical dentist.
That's not master dungeoneer.
No, it's a different thing.
Need to reevaluate some things.
Oh, it's saying to go see an orthodontist.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a bracket brace, anything like that, that's orthodontics.
I go see the person who put it in for you the first time if you can.
That's in Houston.
I come visit, damn it!
She was just there. I just got her back.
You were just here and you didn't say hi.
I'm sorry.
She had a very full trip.
I did. Honestly, I wasn't too much fun to be around, if that makes you feel any better. I was an anxious,
No,
anxious
just your
mess.
accent is still better than you at all.
Oh, cat. Well, now I feel bad.
Now I feel bad. Sorry.
Nah, I'm just giving you a hard time. But seriously though, next time you're down here.
Will do, for sure. Hopefully I won't be an anxious mess. So,
Hopefully I can actually join you next year. I'll have some time off. Okay. So, questions pertaining to D&D, specifically 5th edition, which is the system I know best.
DM, I chipped a tooth.
I told you people 1,000 times I cannot help you with this. You need an MD.
No.
Not a DM.
No. Barnaby chipped his tooth. So
Oh,
yes,
Barnaby chipped his tooth.
That's what I was saying.
You have a
What do you
cleric.
think
What are
I
you
was
complaining
talking
about?
It's gonna be
Don't
an
talk to
interesting
me.
Intro to
Talk
edit.
to your priest.
Yes, because MD actually stands for Magic Dude.
Man, God in the sky is a bit rude.
I don't think we have any questions.
Okay, cool. So, is there anything that you guys wanted to take care of in the evening prior to beginning the long rest?
I fixed my retainer.
After that combat, about your retainer, I have nothing for your retainer. I'm sorry, I
Aldrin,
can't
are
help
you
you.
okay? You keep picking at your teeth.
Huh?
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna be one of these sessions.
Literally.
Okay. I have nothing specific that needs to get done this evening.
Okay.
I have nothing. Oh,
Okay.
well, Aldrin's gonna hide the coffee pot.
Fair.
His coffee thing away from the children.
Fair. I think the children, in the wake of that combat, you guys did give them a little bit of a dressing down. And, you guys, you can't make faces like this. I can't focus.
I just keep seeing Johnny going like,
Sorry, maybe I should just turn off my camera.
It's fine, it's fine. I can get it together. I promise.
It's a pointy thing.
I mean, I was the same way with my crown.
Like, all right, 5-minute break. You know what? Let me just yank it out. Let me just yank it out. Let me just come
We'll
over
tie
there.
it to a door. Slam it
Get some
shut.
wire snippers.
I don't know if snippers are going to be what you want. At any rate, hiding the coffee pot, not a big deal. Easy to do. I think after, like I said, you guys gave the kids a bit of a talking to after they sort of stepped in to help out, quote unquote, with the fight that afternoon, and they are, you know, a little more subdued after the dressing down. You know, Endymion is
More sad.
more sullen than usual. Chiron has a bit of a you know, bit of a pout, I guess. But they're mostly behaving. They're not clamoring after your secret coffee stash. So
Okay. I think we'll just have a pretty chill evening and I'll get the dome set up.
Who wants to learn how to shoot a gun?
No.
Oh, come on, I got a spare.
No.
Oh, no.
Because I said so.
But it's a good thing to know how to use.
Do they use guns in the Feywilds?
give me a history check.
Next question. Unnatural 20.
Yeah, firearm technology and the Fae. That's a great prompt that I should riff on now.
You're welcome,
Boy, it's been
Dan.
a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Oh shit. Let me think. Here's the thing, right? I feel like the Fae, in general, have a very high fantasy kind of vibe going for them, right? I don't know that guns necessarily gel with that so much. You know, out of universe, definitely not. Not a thing. I can say that for certain. I will say in universe, Aldrin, there could be a variety of reasons for that. That's, you know, they could be seen as sort of a crude, sort of a blunt instrument of a weapon from the material plane. This kind of ugly, loud, smelly, destructive weapon. It's lacking in grace and finesse, and there's not really a lot of appeal to fielding a platoon of soldiers in shining armor armed with, you know, muskets. It's not heroic. There's some decorum that I think a lot of the Fae, at least in the circles that you walk in, sort of hold themselves to. And guns definitely kind of rub the wrong way for a lot of people in that sense.
I like the idea that Fae don't use it purely for aesthetic reasons.
Ugh, it's
And
loud.
Fae-
It stinks.
Being Fae is 50% an aesthetic, really.
Oh, so they're more hoity-toity type. Got it.
I'd say that's a fair guess.
Still want to learn how to shoot it?
I'd say.
You know what? Go for it. Have fun, children.
Wait, really?
Okay,
Yes.
I know I don't have a say in this, but is that
Chiron jumps to his
Oh,
feet
I
and
already got
runs over.
permission.
Chiron jumps to his feet and runs after Barnaby.
I got permissions.
Quick, before he changes his mind, we have to get away. He like grabs you by the hand and starts pulling you into the woods, Barnaby.
Does Admidian go with them?
Endymion, you can see him kind of like thinking about it, and then he like looks at you, Aldrin, and you can see the frustration in your face. And he probably just kind of slowly kind of slumps back down into his seat and goes back to the little book he's reading.
Alright, suit yourself.
Here, I'll show you something more practical. Come with me. Bring the crossbow.
Oh, okay. put his book down and pick up the crossbow.
And then Aldrin will show him crossbow.
All right, I'll say both of you, Aldrin and Barnaby, give me an intelligence check to see how well you teach.
Are we sure that's the intelligence?
We'll see how well you teach this
Yeah,
What
because
about
it's not
subject.
it's not using the crossbow, it's explaining the crossbow.
Nah, you need to be able to explain this as a teacher to a student.
You're sharing knowledge. That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not terrible. 17. I have a -1 in intelligence. I was like,
That's a good roll.
Thankfully, you are a skilled, practiced warrior, and weapon safety and technique is a secondhand, almost innate. It's so distracting, I know.
it's really bothering me.
I could just see you over there.
I promised I'd
But
be
yes,
good.
yes. With a 17, you are able to, I think, adequately teach whatever it is you are looking to convey to him with this crossbow. What exactly is your priority here, for the record, Aldrin?
For him not to hurt himself.
Just kind of checking his form, making sure he's not doing anything too dangerous with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say for his part, like, he's got the basics down. I think Ademian is definitely mindful of the weapon, as you would hope he would be. But as he kind of, goes through the routine with you, you kind of see it's like, yeah, like the elbow's sagging. He's not really like bracing the weapon properly. So you give him some pointers and kind of help him kind of shore up his aim, and it's a pleasant experience. All the while, of course, there are gunshots
How did he get
ringing out
shot?
through the trees.
I got a
Barnaby-
17, by the way.
Oh,
2 17s. Okay.
okay. Barnaby doesn't get shot. Uh-oh.
It's either
Barn-
1 or 20.
Plot.
So Barnaby, you are just as practiced with your weapon of choice, and I mean, this is a completely foreign weapon to Kyron's. This is all new territory for him. Like, you're kind of showing him how this thing works. Like, this is the breech, this is the trigger. You pull this, and this cocks the hammer and then releases it, and this the gunpowder goes off, and then the bullet propels down the. And, you're explaining all this to him, and he's like, "Wow, that's really, really complicated."
It's simple. Powder going here, bullet going here, click.
Well, when you put it like that,
You just gotta know how to explain it, get inside their head.
yeah, and he grasps this pretty quickly. Definitely kind of like wide-eyed amazement at this newfound technology. That all said, however, his trigger discipline and gun safety
What
leaves
trigger
a
discipline?
lot to be desired. You have to correct him multiple times. When you are not ready to shoot, don't leave your finger on the trigger. Do not wave this gun in the direction of anything you are not trying to shoot. He flags you multiple times over the course of this lesson.
Hey,
And
be
every
careful.
time you have to fucking grab the barrel and push it back down range.
Treat it like a crossbow where you don't want to shoot whatever you got on the other end.
Does Barnaby get shot?
I'm gonna say no.
Aww.
So disappointed.
I really wanted to accidentally shoot him.
But I will say, Barnaby, Kyron is not absorbing the discipline necessary to use this weapon safely as quickly as one would hope.
I'm shocked.
You'll learn it eventually when you lose a finger. Don't worry about it. Took me a bit.
Problem is, he keeps turning towards you with the gun, like, pointed up towards your face, and it's just it doesn't stop. Like, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't matter how many times you correct him. He keeps doing it.
Do you know how a crossbow works? You don't want to point at what you're about to shoot at unless you really want to shoot at it. Same principle.
But I just shot. I'd have to load it again, don't I? And as he begins to turn the barrel to like look down at it, you're like, no.
Think of a gun as always loaded.
It is a trying lesson, Barnaby, and you do your damnedest, but it is a lot to get through to this kid because he's excited, he's eager, but it's a little over eager. It's kind of getting in the way of his retention. So
I don't know what Paul went through.
Yeah. So I would say, by the time you guys are kind of wrapping up for the night, it's getting dark. It's getting hard to kind of see anything. Probably time to set up camp. You head back towards the dome, and Aldrin, you and Endymion had a relatively pleasant crossbow session. Barnaby, however you feel about Chiron's complete disregard for the sanctity of life, take that as you will.
He's a fast learner.
I hit the target. Yeah.
I'm insight.
Took me a lot longer to stop pointing the gun at my father's face.
I rolled a 9.
Endymion will just kind of like tug at your elbow and just shake his head.
I'm just telling it like it is. That's what you did, didn't you?
Chiron's like, hey, I hit it. How many times did you hit it, Dim? And Dim's like, sure. What was it? 5? 7? I hit my shots.
Well. And he didn't point it at me once.
La-dee-da.
The flagrant disregard for gun safety on display here is triggering. But yeah, I think that's all you guys wanted to wrap up for the night. Take your watches, as is probably custom at this point while on the road. Come morning, of course, the sun will remain where it is. It's always a sort of perpetual twilight, but yeah, it's been long enough. You guys are ready to get up and start moving again. So,
Aldrin will very carefully take his coffee pot.
Double check. Or sleight of hand, your choice.
I'll do first stealth. Oh, both are shit. 16.
Okay. You think you're being sneaky, and as you're tucking it back, and you kind of put it back in your bag, you look back to the rest of the party. You see Endymion just fucking eyes locked with yours, like you see the eyebrows go up.
I mean, Endymion wasn't so bad.
Yeah, he's like.
Don't tell your brother.
He like flares out his cloak while he's drinking it. Ah, snowy.
I feel like this relationship is very much that Reddit comic. It's like, Mom, who's your favorite? I don't have favorites, sweet. I love you both equally.
It's
the first
you.
kid leaves. It's like, it's you by a lot. So, day 6. Or no, day 5, excuse me. Continuing onwards, heading west. When you guys made camp last night, you were sort of in the depths of this fairly dense, very tall pine forest, massive trees towering hundreds and hundreds of feet into the air, with kind of this twilight still filtering down through the canopy overhead. And for the first few hours of your journey today, it's much the same. You guys are sort of picking your way through the undergrowth of this, thick, ancient forest. And it's comfortable outside. The weather's started to sort of give you a bit of a reprieve. It's a little bit warmer than it was the day before. A little windy, but not too terrible. And within a few hours of this trek today, you find the forest sort of beginning to thin out a little bit. So you see it sort of beginning to open up a little and begin to sort of climb up the sides of this valley that you find yourselves beginning to pass into. On either side of you, there are these progressively larger and larger mountains sort of trailing forward, into the distance, sort of leading you deeper inland. And this pine forest sort of stretches up on either side of the valley, kind of following the slopes. But the valley floor itself, the tree cover starts to become sparser, and the brush begins to give way to flowers. These bright red, massive poppies, probably 3 or 4 feet tall, begin to sort of protrude up out of the undergrowth. And before too long, you guys are more or less hiking through a river of these things. These towering poppy flowers that just cover the valley floor. There are trees sort of growing out of their midst every so often, these towering pines that have managed to kind of crawl down the mountain into the valley. But for the most part, it's just red all the way to the horizon in the distance ahead of you. And it's quiet today. You guys are moving at a decent clip. And as the hours pass, you don't encounter anybody. You don't run afoul of any terrible monsters or brigands on the road. It's genuinely just a pleasant walk through the Feywild, which is...
Am I the only one who's mildly suspicious?
How so?
It's never this easy.
I'll be honest, I've been kind of distracted. It's been a beautiful walk today.
Not as beautiful as you.
I do feel a little queasy. I might have put a little too much spice in the gumbo yesterday. Other than that, I'm fine.
You're probably cursed by the deer.
A deer can't curse you, it's a deer.
Well, a deer can't talk either.
Or can to other deer.
Aldrin's just shaking his head. Disappointedly.
I think Kyron might chime in on this conversation. Say, do deer not talk where you come from, Mr. Barnaby?
Nope.
Really?
Not
Oh,
generally,
at least
no.
not to me.
No, they don't talk to anyone.
They talk to other deer. That's what I just said earlier.
They talk to everyone here.
Noel's
Well,
distracted now.
generally they talk to everyone unless somebody tries to shoot them in the face first.
Have you eaten deer, Barnaby?
Of course, they're delicious.
Really?
Yep.
Aldrin, have you eaten a deer?
No.
I'm gonna roll insight. 22.
He's not lying.
I will say, Endymion looks a little bit perturbed by this conversation. Chiron is more just sort of reveling in the morbid curiosity of it.
I mean, deer from our realm are very different. For one, they don't...
They're also a little stupid.
Yeah, well... Yeah, that's why I kind of wonder if they even talk to each other. I don't know if that's something that animals actually do.
Do animals not talk where you're from?
Mostly no, unless we enchant them with magic to do so.
Huh. I think Endymion at this point kind of chimes in. It's like, I mean, that would make sense why they do here then, if it's a matter of magic.
I suppose that tracks.
That says that all the magic you guys use on that side ends up making its way over here eventually. Just kind of drifts in with everything else.
I never knew that.
Do you guys have a lot of magic on your side of things?
Not nearly as much as here.
Drastically less than you guys.
I guess maybe it's just a matter of time then.
Matter of time until what?
Well, for it to all wind up over here.
Yes. Well, some of it. I imagine that the magic that happens due to deities might not quite come so easily.
Yeah, you guys don't have Archfey either, right? Like you have...
No, but I do understand that some people make pacts with them to borrow or use their magic.
I have heard this too.
As she pointedly looks away from the camera. I think Chiron would chime in and say, wait, so you didn't make a pact then?
Not with, I don't have a pact per se. It's a bit different in relationship. So my magic comes from, let me tell you about the joys!
Oh, Jesus.
And I proceed to put children to sleep.
Yeah, Chiron gets bored real fast, I think.
Oh, but I rolled a 19 again!
I swear it's interesting, children.
He got a 6 on his ability to fucking care, so...
Well, that's one of them. What about the other one?
That should be a stat. Number of fucks given.
6. Very low.
He's low on fucks today. He didn't have his coffee.
But what would I be adding to this roll for making it interesting?
Probably charisma.
Sure, yeah.
Charisma? That's a 20. That's an unnatural 20.
That's fair. No, I mean, Chiron is just—he's a very high energy.
I know.
He gets distracted.
Well, but then I get to tell him about the party gods because I have a party god or two in my list.
He'll probably start paying more attention when those crop up. But I think for the most part, your primary audience for this conversation is Endymion, who again, he's the inquisitive kid. He's asking questions and taking mental notes as best he can. And I mean, he seems intrigued by the prospect of a priest. There is something different to that, you can tell, to the way things work over here. It sounds to you as though they really don't have any corollaries to a cleric or a priest, really, among the Fae. The closest, really, would be a seer or a fate.
Ooh, what are the seers and the fates? Tell me about those.
Well, they're just they're diviners. They watch all kinds of stuff and just try and suss out what the future might hold for us.
I wonder if they're very anxious people.
I've never met one, but Dad isn't terribly fond of them.
Interesting. I can't get
I'm not Barnaby. Burberry's going to like kind of like go into a little mumbling thing, like I wonder why that would be the case. Like you'd think that people would value the future, yada yada yada.
As you guys are walking today, you will pass one notable landmark, and Aldrin, this is, I think, something relevant to your roadmap that you've got your head and that you have paraphrased for your party.
Nice map. Very proud.
Mid-afternoon, you guys probably have a few more hours to go before you could call it a day on the hike. But you catch sight in the distance of these odd shapes sort of running along the slopes in the distance up ahead of this valley. They look almost like teeth in a weird way. These like tall, white, sharp spires sort of protruding up out of the trees, taller than the trees around them. And as you draw closer to them, you can see the crowns of these spires in various states of disrepair. Some retain their, intact, sort of narrow crown of this sort of sheltered spike on top. Others have crumbled and worn away with time. But you do recognize these towers. You recognize these as sort of the ancient border of the Summerlands from centuries and centuries back. And while they are a relic of a bygone era of little use to anybody these days, they are a very convenient landmark for you, as you know that not much further beyond this, you are bound to enter the realm of the Oral Vale. At which point, you and the party will need to be very careful to avoid any unwanted invitations deeper into that domain.
Aldrin really wants to go there. I have children. I cannot do this.
So, with that all said, catching sight of these towers in the distance and drawing more or less even with them by the end of the day, you guys are able to set up camp either in the middle of the valley or maybe off to the side in the shelter of the trees, with a decent view of these massive white towers that sort of run up the opposite slope and over the ridge and continue, apparently, kind of jutting up over the mountain ridge, miles and miles and miles away into the distance.
Should we be worried about these towers, Aldrin? They're a little intimidating. Aldrin?
DM.
I told you that these things have not been in use for centuries. These are a relic of an ancient time.
Nope.
Long before you entered the service of your lord.
We are. There's nothing going on there.
No. I noticed you were looking at your map a lot today. Are we getting close to something?
We're getting close to the Oral Vale.
Okay. So what does
Place
that
where I want
mean?
to go, but I'm not allowed to be.
I see. So we should avoid it?
Yes, we should. Because there are children, and the Lord wants his children in a timely fashion.
I can't blame him for that, I suppose.
Yes, yes, yes.
So do we have like a path we have to take, or is there like, do we go around it then? I don't know.
No, we're going to go just through the corner of it, and then we're going to like kind of jump.
We're going to jump?
Kind of. Like teleport this.
We're gonna teleport?
No, the thing with the map is like we're gonna go through like corners of each of the areas, and that's going to like skip vast distances for us.
Dad says it's like walking through a prism. And Demian will chime in.
That doesn't really translate with my concept of a prism, but okay.
It's... You like step into a domain and it sort of bends the space around it in weird ways. So when you turn to leave, you kind of come out a lot further than you came in. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's like a...
Huh. This time and space stuff is weird you guys have going on. Not my forte.
Yeah. I mean, I've asked to maybe learn more about it, but Dad's doesn't really have a lot of time on his hands, so we haven't really been able to talk about it much.
Well, I'm sure eventually you'll get it.
Yeah.
So wistful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope so.
Someday.
Kyron, meanwhile, I think is going to chime up. Just so we really can't stop at Rymethson? Is that completely off limits?
Yes, because if we were to accept his invitation to stay, we would be prolonged months. We'd have a great time, but
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't really do months.
You heard that, Gatekeeper. You guys aren't going to lose that much time. You'd be fine.
Unfortunately, this is one particular thing that we might be okay, but on the off chance, what risks that happens if we're not far outweighs we can come back and do it another time.
We could lose like a month and be fine, but anything beyond that starts getting a little dicey.
Wibbly wobbly.
Sorry.
yes, and we don't want to be a hindrance to our new friends. No, we do not stay as much as I would like to. Maybe once we're there, we can ask your father if we can come back.
We're not going to walk again. We're already here. I mean, we could literally just walk in, say hi, and...
No.
No one can ever just walk in and say hi. There's always greetings and foods and asking how you're doing and how are the kids. I mean, you are the kids, but still.
But he will drag it out a lot, and you'll probably want to go home.
I still want to see it.
We will see it later. I promise. Because I would like to come here.
I guess. Fine. Barnaby, can we shoot guns?
Absolutely.
If you get shot, that's your fault.
And
Sure
it will
thing,
be a
Alder.
very important learning lesson for them.
Later, squares. He hops down from where he's perched and runs after Barnaby. It's not much better tonight.
I thought we were prisons. Maybe he'll be a better shot. On the upside. Wait, who am I right now? On the upside!
Ah, got it.
If he's concentrating...
I'm glad to know the tone gives it away now.
On the upside, the more that he shoots, the less likely we're going to get deer in the camp again.
I hope they're not attracting anything worse. I don't really know anything about the Feywild or creatures or what they gravitate towards.
I feel like they're going to gravitate away from loud banging noises since this is not common.
I will trust your judgment on this one.
DM, is that a safe assessment?
Give me a history check.
Okay. 15.
It depends on where you are. I think right now, looking at your surroundings, the thing with the Feywild is what you see is kind of what you get. It's very rarely a surprise when there are terrible things around you. They tend to have an impact on the landscape, on the vibe. And this valley feels pretty serene to you. You're not super worried. There might be a random giant or something wandering around, but probably not going to wander towards a gunshot.
Yeah. And other areas not so safe. This is pretty good.
Okay.
When the surroundings start getting sketchy and dark, then be concerned.
Good to know.
Man, I wish it was that easy to tell in freaking regular area. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Can we get one of those in the area that we're in, where it just looks like what it is?
Well, if you ever wanted to move to the Feywild, I don't think anyone would stop you.
Someone would stop me.
Who would-
Someone will always stop me.
What does that mean?
Let's just say I'm of a divided opinion.
Ah, gotcha.
So,
You did get it right.
No, I get you.
Okay, cool.
I do actually get.
Midian, what would you like to train on tonight? Or would you like to read?
I mean, we don't have to do training or anything tonight. I mean,
Would you like to do training tonight?
we don't have to. It's fine.
Insight check. Ooh, 19.
19. I mean, honestly, he seems... he does seem a little tired, but he also seems like he's got more on his mind than training. If anything, you'd guess he's probably still chewing on everything that was talked about during the hike today, and I'd say you get the sense he's probably content to kind of sit and think on that for the time being.
Alright, Aldrin will attempt to cook dinner in the woods.
Alright. You got proficiency with cooking utensils?
Nope.
Cool, give me a dex check.
Okay. Oh, 16.
Okay, that's passable. Good trail food.
What did you make?
What did you make? Johnny's rapidly Googling.
Food.
Ooh, he did stuffed mushrooms.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Nice.
And I'll give some to Endymion, pat him on the head.
Thank you.
Kyron, I made food. Then we'll go up to Noelle, my lady.
What?
Never should you be hunger in my company.
Thank you very much, Aldrin.
Oh, sorry.
God.
Just ruined the moment.
Did you expect any less?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you need 1 or 2 portions, Burberry?
All of them.
Alright, here you are, 2.
Just stuff my face.
But he'll leave some for Barnaby and Kyron whenever they get back.
Okay. So, taking watches tonight. Out of curiosity, who would take watches this evening?
I'll go first.
Okay, yeah. Give me a perception check.
That's a 20 total.
Solid.
Thank you.
It is definitely easier keeping watch in the Feywild, considering the sun never really sets. It's just constantly hanging low in the sky. You've got this perpetual golden sort of twilight out and about. You know, just enough dark directly overhead to see some stars. It's immeasurably more convenient.
It's also gorgeous. Except for the
And very
fact
pretty.
that I have to wear a blindfold to go to sleep, but that's okay.
That's small problems.
Yes.
But keeping an eye out, you know, you watch as, you know, flocks of, you know, bright red geese kind of fly high overhead and cross the mountain valley. You see in the distance a herd of deer. Not sure if they're the same herd you saw earlier this week, kind of meandering along the opposite end of the valley and kind of mingling with the trees before disappearing back into their shade again. It's very quiet, it's very serene, and your watch will pass without incident. The white towers standing watch in the distance with you.
That deer herd is after the gunshot. We heard them this way, men! We'll find those no good.
We found you!
Okay. I think Noel's gonna, mess with Ultra a little bit. Just to get him for a second watch, she's gonna like go up to his ear.
I was about to say, please define mess. This is Ultra we're
Mess.
talking about.
Sorry. She's gonna like go up to his ear and just be like, "Good morning. Time to get up."
Get used to this.
Jesus.
He adjusts his pants as he gets.
Wow, that's all it took, huh?
He's a horn dog.
Have you heard of my charisma?
You heard of my charisma?
It's not there.
It is. I have a 20.
Well, enjoy your watch. I'm going to bed.
Such a tease.
Look who's talking.
Okay, ultra low. All slow, we know why, y'all.
It's distracted.
He rolled low. 9.
Aldrin, come on, man. There's kids nearby.
Well, you know what Aldrin is.
Just goes out in the woods for a few minutes.
I'll be back. Need to go to the bathroom.
20 minutes later. Wanders back, sits down.
Dozes off.
Barnaby has nightmares.
Lights up a cigarette.
Oh, shit.
Who's next? You're not getting shit with a 9, I'm sorry.
That was the weirdest alarm I think I've ever had, and I never want one again.
He's gonna wake up Burberry.
No, that's. I was assuming that's what I was saying. When I woke up. Oh man, Burberry just keeps like getting distracted. Burberry is going to be writing some things.
Okay.
So Burberry rolled shit. Just
Fair enough.
Everyone's
all
distracted.
Yeah,
So
I rolled
guys.
a 5, so that's a 9.
Yeah, Burberry is not paying what he should be on watch. Thankfully, you have a dome.
Yay!
Who's last tonight?
I'll go.
Okay.
I had a nightmare anyway. I couldn't sleep right. Something was happening.
We can
I don't
sense
know
it.
what you mean.
That is a dirty 20.
30-20. Okay. Finally, someone paying attention. Yeah, Barnaby, on your watch. You also sit in the eternal twilight of the Feywilds. See the stars overhead, sun shining in the distant west. The long shadows cast by the trees and the flowers all around you. Sure is party out here. And as you're taking in all of this natural splendor, your eyes are continuously pulled back to those white towers that sort of dot the landscape around you. And for a moment, you feel like you catch sight of one you don't remember having been there. It's very narrow, might be very distant, but then you follow it and you see kind of running down this streak of white. You find it much closer at hand, kind of protruding up out of the trees, and not hardly as straight and tall and magnificent as an ancient tower should be. This is a wafting, waving white column of distant smoke issuing up from the trees on the opposite slope, fairly close to where you imagine the base of the nearest of these towers would be. You catch sight of a narrow, slowly dissipating bands of smoke, as though from a campfire.
About how far is that as the raven flies?
Well, you guys are sort of situated on, we'll say, like the north side of this valley. This is on the south side. The valley's maybe a mile or two across. It's not a terribly wide gap. It's not a very distant position. You know, maybe a mile and a half, you'd guess. I'd say, judging by sort of the texture of this smoke, though, looking at it, this fire looks as though it had been extinguished maybe an hour ago. And all you're seeing really are the remnants of that smoke kind of wafting up into the air, kind of rising in parallel to the tower next to it.
Seems a little suspicious. Alright, you piqued my interest. I'm gonna get out of the bubble and I'm gonna fly up a bit, see if I can get a vantage point. See anything going on.
Sure, yeah. How high up do you want to go?
Above the tree line if I can.
Okay. So you fly up. It must be 1,000 feet into the air. Trying to get a decent vantage looking down on the opposite side of the valley. I'll say go ahead and give me another perception check.
Alright. That is 17 total, 14 plus 3.
17. It is a considerable distance, and not flying out from the campsite. Your real alternative there is to just fly higher to try and get a better and better angle on this possible campsite. So you get 2,000 feet in the air, 2,500 feet in the air. You're up there, right? There are low-hanging clouds kind of level with you in the distance. And looking down at the far side of the valley, at the base of the tower, which is now visible through the trees, you squint. It's shaky. I mean, you've got, a mile and a half that you're trying to glean this, but you're pretty confident that you can see the sort of the remnants of a fire, these small flecks of bright red light, the remnants of embers kind of shining in the shadows of the trees at the base of this tower. It definitely looks like there was a campfire there.
This might be a stretch well on 17, but do I see any kind of movement around the tower? Not necessarily people or anything, just kind of movement.
Say, looking at the tower itself, this is one of the more intact of these structures. It still has most of its height to it. There is a small pile of rubble kind of at the base where the very peak has sort of crumbled and fallen at the tower's base. For the most part, this is a solid white stone structure. There are remnants of carvings in the stone. This ancient, long, worn-away detail from the original craftsmen that were surely beautiful in their day, but today you can barely make out any sensible pattern to it outside of it was once carved. But there are no windows. There's no open walkways along the tower. It is a solid stone structure until you get to the peak, and there is sort of an open lookout station at the very top of it. And looking up there, you don't see any movement. It's dark and shaded in the interior of the tower, and it's a mile and a half away.
I'm going to descend back down the tree line and see if I can see anything along the trees, like, on the ground.
Sure.
Maybe around our area.
Okay. Do you want to go back to ground, or do you want to stay in the air?
Oh, about halfway, so like 500 feet, if you say
Okay.
about 1,000.
Sure, 500. Okay. I'll say give me another perception check then.
Okay. Well, that's probably not going to get much. That is a 12.
12. And you're scanning the opposite side of the valley for any sign of activity or movement, but outside of the just kind of rhythmic rustle of the massive flowers that coat the valley floor in the wind, there's not really anything catching your eye. Not at this distance.
I'm going to be suspicious, but I'm going to lower myself back down into the bubble and continue my walk.
Okay. Continuing your watch, I think you are keeping an eye on that column of smoke, keeping an eye on the tower nearby it, and watching the tree line for any sign of movements. Thankfully, if maybe a little concerning, there's no further incident on your watch, no additional happenstance, no new details. You just watch over the next couple of hours as the column of smoke slowly rises and spreads until it is barely a wisp of cloud overhead. And morning comes. And the party wakes.
I'll be cooking some gumbo.
All right.
Breakfast gumbo with eggs.
Day 6 begins.
Smells good.
Oh, by the way, we're probably not alone. There was a campfire last night. About a mile out.
Well, that doesn't bode well.
We're not going to be the only travelers here.
Well, if this is a place that people want to venture to, then presumably there'll be other people around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nose cracked. It was over near that tower. I'll gesture to it.
Any sign of anything worth investigating?
Oh, it's always a campfire, really.
Would that tower be tremendously off course if we wanted to go check it out?
I mean, probably half an hour.
It's not too
Cross the
bad.
valley, climb up the slope a little bit, poke around. Doable.
I'd prefer to keep moving if it's all the same to y'all.
I suppose it's not our business.
We can always keep an eye out at our back if we are worried.
Yeah, it might be a more prudent play today.
All right.
We'll just keep an eye behind us.
Well spotted. I also, perhaps next time, warn us if you're going to leave suddenly.
Wasn't gone that long.
Well, I'm more concerned on the if you had gotten attacked and couldn't make it back.
Oh, you would have heard. You would have heard Bertha.
That's probably true, honestly.
You would have heard me hit the ground. I would have fallen straight back in.
Also that. A big clang.
The Barnaby alarm clock.
One benefit of flying straight up into the air. You're not terribly far from camp if something goes wrong. Just remember that scene from Civil War where Brody fucking crashes into the fucking airfield.
Basically.
But
Alright.
that's a Barnaby moment.
No. It's a little suspicious, but I think we will leave it.
Okay. So, day 6. Picking up your campsite, setting off, continuing westward through the valley. You leave the towers behind you, and the valley begins to slope upward. The trees begin to sort of close in around you again, and within a couple of hours, you guys are once more hiking under the cover of towering pine forest. As you go, the light overhead begins to dim as scattered clouds begin to roll in from the south, and a light rain begins to fall. You can smell damp earth, mildew.
Well, darn
Smell
it.
it.
I just got my armor dirty like I like it.
There'll be plenty of mud once this rain is done.
The heady smell of pine.
It's not just mud, it's ash and gunpowder and mud.
And sweat.
Look, that's just a fact of life. I can't do anything about that.
You do that
I
on
mean-
purpose?
You could, but you would have to take off your armor for that.
Not
Barnaby,
intent.
have you ever slept with a woman?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't by choice.
Oh, okay, good. Because if you do that,
Oh,
then
thanks,
they'll
Sam.
never touch you. You have
Uh,
to
Works
clean
for me.
yourself.
You guys can
I-
choose not to sweat?
You can sweat, but clean yourself if that's how you prefer to stay. That's not good. I thought he said that he preferred to be dirty. Did I
Bud
mishear
said
that?
something.
I said, for implications, he prefers being dirty like muddy, but he also does prefer not getting any ladies.
You're on
So
the
a little
right
bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Keep doing what
Barnaby,
you're
can I ask you something mildly personal?
Depends.
Well, we have been traveling for a while now, and I'm pretty sure this isn't the case, but just on the off chance that I'm wrong, are you gay?
What's that?
Burberry's like putting a hand to his face, like, how did I tell him? Should it? Probably not, right?
Are you not interested in women? Or are you not interested in anyone?
Not really interested in anyone. At least right now. I figure once I get all the stories, I'll settle down with something. But not till after marriage, of course.
Something. Not someone?
I mean, ideally, it would be a someone.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry if that was a little weird.
Yes, it was. You seem a little confused. You want some gumbo bars?
I will happily take gumbo bars whether I'm confused or not. They are delicious.
Well, sometimes if you're not full, then you don't think right.
True.
Aldrin's just drinking the coffee, listening to this conversation.
Kyron kind of comes up beside you and makes a grab for the coffee thing.
Holds it up high. I am much taller than you.
You're kind of gay, aren't you?
What even is that?
If you really must know, I am bisexual. I prefer women over men, but I will sleep with men.
Yeah, kind of gay.
I
Right?
am gay.
Wait.
I like everyone.
Well, yeah, of course I'm not gay. I don't look like him. Does that point at you?
Barnaby. It means that you're a man who prefers the company of other men.
And I like being around men. That's fine.
I feel like you need to listen to the wording of that sentence again.
Kyron's squinting at Barnaby. Wait, so are you or are you not kind of gay?
I don't look like him, do I?
nothing
My
to do
appearance
with the
have
looks.
anything to do with this.
Well, he called you gay, so that must mean it's because of how you look or dress or something.
No, it's because I have slept with men. I like dick sometimes, Barnaby.
Arby's just gonna freeze, slowly put down his visor. He's just gonna walk away.
This is getting too sexual for me.
I had a feeling there was no way to get that answer out of Barnaby without making him uncomfortable. Unfortunately.
No. He seems very shy about it. I think he might be gay.
No, he's not gay. He's just a prude.
That's what I've always assumed.
Well, that's definitely not you. Can I have some coffee?
Which one's asking?
It's Kyron. It's still Kyron.
Hey, 1 second. It's gonna get like a little cup, pour a little bit, and then hand it to him.
This is nothing.
You know what, actually-
anyway.
Here you go. Go fucking nuts.
But what?
Thank you. Finally, some decent service around here.
I'll just-
As he uncorks it and just. Hands it back to you.
Aldrin. did you do that?
He has to learn one way or another. This will be the hard
Don't
way.
think this will be a lesson. I think this is going to be the start of an addict.
No. We'll be fine.
The next couple of hours, you guys are hiking uphill, and Kyron is literally like running circles, serpentine through the trees around your party, and every 10 minutes stopping for a bathroom break.
Is he jittery at all?
He's energized. I don't know if he really comes off as jittery so much. He doesn't really stop moving long enough for you to really assess. But there's definitely a lot of cajoling, a lot of, you guys are so slow, come on, pick up the pace! We're almost there, come on!
Coming, Kyron.
I will say around...
DM,
Hmm.
I have a dumb question.
Yes.
Would being hyped up on coffee and jittery count as a condition?
I would not count that as a poison, no. No, I would not consider that a condition.
So I can't fix it.
I would say no. This would not
No.
fall under the purview of a lesser restoration.
I appreciate where your head's at, Burberry.
I will say, Aldrin, as you are hiking today, you know, having passed the towers, that at some point, hard to say when, but at some point, you will have crossed the threshold of the Oral Vale. Your goal, obviously, is to keep an eye out and make sure you are aware as soon as you are across. The sooner you know that you're in the Oral Vale, the sooner you guys can adjust your course and make for the southern border. It's just going to be a question of how quickly can you make that determination. So I am going to ask you to make a survival check for me.
Survival. Oh. Okay. 11.
Okay. So, keeping an eye out, watching for some sign that you have crossed a threshold into an archphase domain, Aldrin. You know some archfey are very clear about where the border of their realm lies. Others don't give quite as much attention to the border. They are more concerned with the heart of their domain. And as you hike, you are beginning to worry that Lord Rymouth might be one of the latter. Hour after hour passes, and still you find yourself hiking under the same pine forest, under the same light rain, looking for some sign that you have entered the Golden Valley. Just anything. And then you hear Kyron calling out up ahead. Hey, I can see it!
See what?
And looking up, you can see
no.
he is standing sort of at the cusp of this ridge that you guys have been kind of slowly hiking towards over the past few hours. And he is just standing, pointing with a big smile, looking down at you guys down the other side of the ridge. And as you climb up to join him, you find yourselves looking out of the forest and looking down a sheer cliff face of this beautiful blue and white streaked stone, almost as though it's been shot through with veins of crystals. And you can see these veins kind of running across the face of the rock in either direction, to your left and to your right, along the mountain face. At the foot of the fountain of this cliff, there are trees, aspens and birches with brilliant golden leaves. white tree trunks, and miles ahead you see the forest give way to rolling fields of brilliant, shining golden grass. You can see along the horizon this sparkle, almost as if you're looking at the ocean, but you know from the silhouettes that this is the far side of the Vale, sparkling with that same crystal-streaked mountain rock. And situated on a hill in the heart of the valley, miles away, there is a white city. Soaring parapets, gold-crowned towers, and rings of walls cascading down like a waterfall, sprawling out across the valley floor. At the top of this city, at the top of this hill, there is a beautiful white palace. Its golden roof shining in the twilight of the Feywild. And with the light rain still spilling down from overhead, there is the very faintest of rainbows kind of arcing across the sky over this city. And at this point, Uldren, you are confident. You are almost definitely standing along the border of the Oral Vale.
We're here. Good job. Good job, Kyron. All right, let's go.
I can certainly see why you'd want to come here.
Yes. Really
Gorgeous.
want to stay here, but I can't. We must go. We must go.
As you turn to adjust your course, Uldren, you see the clouds over the city part, and you see the purest beam of sunlight shine down upon the city, enveloping it in its warm embrace. The rainbow seems to intensify in its brightness. The wind picks up, and you swear you could hear the faintest tinkling of bells sounding from the distant city.
Single tear.
But lo, your task draws you southward, and so you turn to your left and begin to march along this ridge back into the cover of the trees, making to cross back across the threshold and depart from the southernmost point of the Oral Vale's domain. Hopefully, without any incident. That's the plan, right?
That's the hope.
That's the plan. Uldren, two things I'm going to ask you to do for me. One, I'd like you to give me a perception check.
Okay.
Just to kind of see what you pick up as you are sort of taking all this in and adjusting your course. 16. Okay. So, couple of things that you would notice now that you have seen this sure sign of your position. You would note that relatively close to the mountains, nestled in the forest, still miles away, but significantly closer than the city, you did make out what looked like a smattering of small settlements kind of nestled beneath the canopy of golden leaves. It's possible that there were villages nearby, possibly forts. You don't see any extensive fortifications, per se. And to your memory, Lord Rylith is not a terribly militant fellow. But knowing that there are people, denizens of the Oral Vale, close by does mean you will probably want to be careful as you make for the southern border. The other side of this, not knowing how long you've been across the threshold of the domain, you do make note of just how long you've been walking today. It's been at least 4 hours, if not more. And you would note, as the sun has sort of continued to kind of circle overhead, just kind of slowly shifting the position of the shadows, there's a chance you might be camping out in the Vale. Potentially, if you guys are really deep in it already. So that's a concern. Second off, could I get a survival check from you, Aldrin, as you adjust your course?
Oh, God.
This is just going to be a general...
Could I give a bardic inspiration for this one?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you
have
can.
no additives to survival.
Wait, can it be given assistance? Because we've seen the map and we've seen the city.
The map is so helpful.
I mean, it's still helpful for the general positioning of things, even if it's not as precise. Like, if we're making a loop, we could go, wait, isn't this the way we came?
True.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to kind of step up and assist Aldrin in navigation, I'll give you advantage.
I'll listen.
16. I rolled a 1 on the D10.
Damn.
That's better than a 12.
16. Okay. 16. I will say, Aldrin, you are more accustomed to an urban environment, to a more comfortable environment. You've done errands through the wilderness for your lord before, and you've always managed. It's never been a terribly difficult thing, but it's always been just a straight shot. And this lengthy winding through the wilds, evading notice to the best of your ability, this is not your favorite thing in the world you're finding. You definitely prefer a much more straightforward task. And you make a mental note to ask Kaisimian next time you have the chance for maybe some more direct assignments in the future, should the need arise. Despite that frustration, however, you and Burberry keep the party moving south to the best of your abilities and maintain a relatively steady heading of course of the rest of the day. By the end of the day's travel, or at least by the end of the 8 hours of travel, at which point you would need to be forced marching if you wanted to continue forward, you have lost sight of the Vale itself. You are deep in the pine forest. You are making your way through a fairly narrow pass, it feels like, between these towering flat iron peaks on either side of you. The pass floor is just filled with these massive pine trees. You're sort of clambering over these large glacial boulders, pushing your way through roots and overgrowth on the forest floor. The sun is struggling to find its way down to the ground at this point. And while you know you are heading south, you don't really have any good clue as to how far from the Vale you've gotten, if you are out yet. there's not really a good sign of that threshold, as you've come to find. So at this point, there's a decision to make. Will you camp out? Or will you push onwards in the interest of guaranteeing that you are clear of this place?
How are the children?
Chiron is crashing.
Crashing and burning.
That caffeine got that kid up and running early in the morning, but now he is pretty shot. I think he's spent all that energy early in the day, and he's definitely starting to drag behind the rest of the party at this point. Endymion's keeping pace. He is taking more measured doses of your stash of caffeine, and I think he's doing all right. He could push on without too much of a struggle, but you can definitely tell Chiron is just like, ugh.
Question: Could they?
When are we stopping?
Could they? Could the tired one sleep on bark? Or is he too big for Bark?
Bark is not big enough to carry a kid. Bark is tiny. Yeah.
Aldrin would pick up Chiron and say, "All right, get on my back."
We're still going?
Yep.
Oh my god.
You can take a nap on my back. Uppy.
What about some more coffee?
No. And you will not.
You're the worst. As he starts to fade, like just kind of head nodding into the back of your head.
Oh.
I love you too. Pat, pat.
Underhand me. So force march.
I suppose 1 hour force march is pretty low opportunity cost.
Right,
Yeah.
I'll say go ahead and give me some Constitution saving throws from the party then, please. And I will roll for Endymion.
I passed. I got a 16 plus 2.
Can I have some of that coffee?
Yes.
No.
Coffee.
One failure.
I got a 14, which I don't know is enough.
A 14?
Mhm.
14 will pass.
Okay.
Yep. What'd you get, Cap?
Con save? An 8. Which is not terrible, because I rolled a 4.
Yeah, 8 unfortunately is not going to succeed.
I didn't think it would. Hence the
You could burn an inspiration if you want to, but
you know what? No, I'm okay.
okay. So 1 failure for Burberry. You have 1 point of exhaustion that is disadvantage on ability checks until you take a long rest. Barnaby, what'd you get?
1 to 3.
23, good shit. John, you still with us? Clark? Alright. In lieu of an answer... Yeah, John's fine. That's a 13 plus John numbers. That's bonkers. Okay, so...
I was here, I just couldn't get to the mute button.
There you go. Okay, what you got? Constitution saving throw. We're doing a forced march.
Okay, that's pretty easy for John, though.
That's true.
Nat 20 plus 10.
Okay. Yeah, that...
John's
going to be pretty good. So, 1 failure, but no loss of pace. Do we want to continue on for a second hour?
John,
The landscape does not change much over this trek.
Do you think you could carry me? Arms are so big.
I could probably carry the children.
Could just bundle in there. I'm basically 2 children.
If you separated, I could probably carry it.
1 on Barnaby, 1 on John.
Just hold on to the bottom of the cloak and hold me like a sack of potatoes.
Kind of like bunch it up.
Throw it over the shoulder.
Hobo bindle Burberry.
I got two kobolds in a rucksack.
That's extra funny because the head would still be.
Sticking out, yeah. Okay. I mean, if John's carrying Burberry, not too difficult for him. He's a big man. I'll say go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw. Everyone who is walking.
18.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
18.
18. 15.
On a 6.
26. Good shit. Successes all around. Endymion rolled in that 20, so he's sticking with it. You guys are still in this piney forest surrounding or filling this sort of narrow, high-walled valley. There is a growing mist starting to sort of wind between the trees. Do we want to continue onwards?
Are we getting close, Aldrin? It's getting late.
Damn. Have I noticed anything?
I'll say give me a perception check.
Take a bark inspiration.
Oh my god, I rolled a nat 1.
No.
What?
I mean, Aldrin. Not that you've shared this with the party, but you've never actually taken this route before. You just know it in theory, so it's really kind of hard to say. But you're probably getting close, right?
Close? Don't you worry.
Okay.
Give me another
Okay,
Constitution
okay.
saving throw.
Yep. Okay. Nope, there it is.
17.
Not one.
Ooh, that's a failure on Noel. Okay.
Barnaby, carry me.
For heaven's sake.
Holy shit! That's another nat 20 for Endymion.
Endymion, you're a freaking high
He's
five,
a champ.
bro.
He's doing
Yeah.
better than Noel.
Yeah, let's just keep moving. He's barely like cogent. He keeps putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, that's the Goldrin. He's like, I was there.
Yeah. Barnaby, John, what did we get?
That would be a 19 total.
Okay, pass.
15.
15, still a pass. So, Burberry, Noel, and not necessarily Chiron, but basically Chiron. One exhaustion each. That is a disadvantage on ability checks until your next long rest. Are we going for a 4th hour forced
I'm
march?
going
Another
to fall
perception
asleep.
Okay, we're doing better. Got that bardic inspiration for me now.
Alright.
It's a 10, right?
D10.
D10, okay.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm still feeling fine.
I like the idea that a tired, like a bardic inspo from a tired Noel is just a lazy couplet.
18.
Hey, you can fucking do it.
Language, please. There are children present.
You got this, bitch. 18 total?
Yep.
Okay. I will say, Aldrin, the mist is growing thicker as you continue onwards. And that definitely strikes you as some kind of portent. You're either on the border right now, or you are past it. But
One more. Just one more hour. I promise we'll stop.
Are you sure, Aldrin?
I am positive. It's just not really
Okay. I'm gonna hop on Barnaby's back.
okay.
Come on.
Oh, Aldrin failed.
Yep. What was your total?
7.
A 5.
27's a pass. A 5? Yeah, it's a failure.
Look, I got a +8, all right.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Oh no, the fake yawns are turning into real ones.
24 for John.
24. Okay. So John, keeping pace, keeping that endurance. Endymion rolled exactly 15, so he is just making it.
He's gonna pass out next time we try.
He is going to crash as soon as you guys stop moving. Kyron has been sawing logs like on your shoulder, like you can feel him like drooling into your cloak, Aldrin. And at this point, that sounds absolutely amazing. But pushing onwards, you catch sight of a rocky outcropping up ahead through the mist. An opening in the forest that you have not seen in hours, and this feels like an opportunity to get your bearings. So pushing forward, kind of stepping out onto the stone and looking around blearily through the twilight, you find yourself looking out over a long, gently sloping stretch of foggy, dense pine forest. You can see low, rocky hills kind of punctuating the mist every few miles or so, stretching out ahead of you, kind of pushing up through the forest and through the fog. You can see in the distance, kind of off to the left and to the right, up ahead of you, these tall, dark, craggy peaks, very different in their contour and their countenance from the terrain you had just passed through. And overhead, the faint mist of rain that has been sort of slowly kind of falling all day has grown darker. The twilights of the Feywild is sort of choked by this cloudy murk. And you can see sheets of rain in the distance up ahead of you, kind of slowly cascading down across the landscape. You are looking at a very, very different stretch of wild countryside from what you just passed through, from what you just saw in the Vale. And looking behind you, you are very sure you had not been walking downhill this entire time. You've been sort of scrambling over boulders and over undergrowth, kind of up and down slopes, trying to find a break in this forest. But looking back at the way you came, it looks as though you've almost cut a trail down the side of the mountain, this long, shallow, sloping thing that stretches miles back, covered in pine forest. Somehow the land's shifted beneath your feet without you even noticing. And
My lord was right. Thank the Lord. I am going to bed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
to the best that you can tell, you are clear of the Oral Vale.
Oh, thank God. He'll pop the tent up, tuck Kyron in,
I'll get the down set.
Okay.
and I'll be like, it'll just be like, come on, Ebony, get to bed.
Endymion literally just pulls his backpack down off of his shoulders, just falls on it. And within a couple of minutes, you just hear him.
Okay, so Aldrin will drag him into the tent with Kyron to sleep before setting up his own.
Sure. And yeah, you guys can set up your camp without too much issue.
Burberry just sleeps underneath his cloak. It looks like a very sad beanbag.
Sure. Can I ask who's taking first watch as you guys set up camp on this rocky outcropping?
I'll take it since I got the highest. I'm more or less unaffected by that walk.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Barnaby.
$11.
11.
8 plus 3.
Okay. Sitting down for the first time in 5 or 6 hours, it feels like. It's just nice to be off your feet, I think. And given how remote this mountain slope seems to be, you're pretty sure there's just nothing coming. You're gonna be okay. You'll be all right. You can just close your eyes a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. You keep them watch.
Bark, keep watch.
Bark. I think your watch will pass quietly, and the next person up on watch will probably catch you dozing a tiny bit in your seat. Who's next?
I can go next.
Okay. Aldrin, having 1 point of exhaustion, you will be rolling with disadvantage.
Do you want me to go instead?
Too late.
Already rolling. What'd you get?
11.
Not too different from Barnaby's watch, honestly. Couple hours of trance is like, okay, I could take a watch, but
yeah,
you're definitely still feeling just the fatigue from this day. But you're glad you got free and clear of the oral veil. As nice as it is, if you had been caught back there by anyone tied to the royal house there, I mean, that could have been such an awkward invitation to try and turn down. You really wanted to go too. It would have been so nice. The food.
Cries softly during his watch. Oh, the ladies.
So you passed your 2 hours just quietly consoling yourself. Someday you'll make it back. Who's taking third watch?
John.
I'll go next.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check, John.
That is a 17.
17. Good shit. So, John, you've had about 4 hours of sleep now. It's enough to kind of wake you up a little bit. I mean, you were already pretty hale and hearty, despite the long trek here. And keeping watch, a couple of things strike you about the immediate locale around you. For starters, it is cooler out this way, noticeably cooler. And thinking back, you do sense this shift in the temperature probably hit you guys about an hour ago, or about an hour before you guys stopped walking. Kind of looking down over the valley up ahead, this rocky moorland. The rains are keeping up. The mist is not really dissipating. But you do see this shimmering through the mist. And you kind of squint and look out into the distance. And I mean, it's miles and miles away, but you can see in a few spots, kind of here and there, where the lands rise up through the mist or the mists are momentarily parted. There are clusters of shimmering lights visible in the distance, as if evidence of a settlement or some other gathering. And you can see a handful of these in a handful of spots, kind of looking out over the landscape. All of them kind of more or less along the way, moving southward.
So is there if any of them are moving?
Moving?
Yeah, are they
Um,
stationary their time or any of them
For the
move?
most part, they appear to be stationary. I'd say it's hard to say if there's any significant movement, really, just because you do have this kind of shifting mist kind of obscuring your view every so often. You'll catch a brief glimpse of these lights, and then they'll be obscured, and then another patch of lights will sort of become evidence further out, and then those will be covered up again. It's pretty in a sort of melancholy way. But it doesn't look as though anything's moving. And for the most part, these are days and days out.
Can I mark their general directions?
Yeah. You could make a note of that for sure. Couple of more things to note on a 17. Fairly close-ish to your campsite. I say ish. It's probably a day or two from where you guys are situated. You do see what looks like this long almost like a bridge, I guess. This narrow line that kind of stretches across the landscape from east to west. It's suspended on these tall, narrow pillars, and like I said, probably days away from your current campsite, but it is visible enough through the mist, kind of rising up out of it, that you can kind of make a note of it. It looks sort of like an aqueduct, right? If you're familiar with these like tall bridge-like structures, they have these archways kind of holding them up, that kind of like arc out of the mountains. And there are portions of it you can see that have sort of collapsed and fallen away, and there are sort of lone pillars kind of standing all on their own, in line with the main tract of it, but disconnected by the just kind of the wear and tear of years. You can see a little bit off to the west, past the bridge, there does appear to be this markedly flat, open segment of the lowlands here. And as you watch, there is a faint shimmer that you pick up looking at it that strikes you as probably a lake of some kind. Kind of further beyond that, you can see dark hills kind of rising up, clearly covered in a similar kind of piney forest to this slope, but caked in thick, unmoving fog. This is kind of off to the west of your current trajectory. And as you're taking the landscape, John, with a 17, you hear the faint sound of footsteps. They're light, almost dainty, but they still have the very characteristic clap of skin on stone, coupled with the gentle splash of water from the rain. And turning your head in a direction, kind of off to your right, you see, moving through the trees towards your campsite, 6 figures. Probably
I'm
about
gonna
60 feet out at this point.
6 figures?
Wait.
That's so much money! No.
I'm gonna as quietly as possible. I'm gonna wake up the closest person to me and get them to wake up the other people.
Okay. So, who do you wake up first?
Whoever's closest.
Who's
Whatever
closest?
that is.
I mean, it's up to you. This is not a. I have not set up a space for the campsite, so I need you to pick somebody.
I'm nudge Noelle awake.
Okay.
Okay. What's going on? I'll immediately just look around.
There's 6 people coming in our way.
What I see.
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of blearily open your eyes looking out, you see, as John said, there are 6 humanoid figures. They're less than 100 feet out from you guys, and they're sort of making their way along this ridge in the direction of your campsite, kind of weaving through the trees. They're not moving with any real urgency. There's a pretty mellow pace to their trek, and through the haze of the mist and the rain, you do pick up what looks like the sort of shimmering blue color to either their skin or to their clothes.
I don't feel particularly inclined to bother them. I think I would keep watching. If they don't seem like
they're heading they're heading right for us, is that correct?
They are sort of walking along the ridge towards, like, in the direction of your campsite. They're not necessarily, it doesn't look like they're necessarily like, oh, a camp, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
They are moving more as though this is sort of just the path they've chosen.
They'll pass by us, probably, it sounds like. I don't feel inclined to reach out before they do, I guess. No need to start something.
I wanted someone that's good at talking in case they come up.
Sure, I can do that.
And as you guys are conversing and watching, you see these figures kind of pause. Probably about 60 feet out at this point. You see one of the arms kind of extend in the direction of your campsite and point. And with them even closer now, you can see that there is sort of a consistent shimmer to their forms. This almost undulating shifting of light across their bodies.
Cool.
All sort of tinged with this deep blue and occasional fleck of green. But the eyes are shining with a deep set light. And you can see 6 pairs of eyes now, all fixed on the dome. And they're now beginning to make their way towards it.
I forgot we were in the dome.
There's always a dome. Okay, I'm going to, just in the interest of safety, quick wake up probably Barnaby and Aldrin, because I know they speak Sylvan. I think Aldrin speaks Sylvan. I don't know, he'll figure it out. And I will,
Very sleepy plan.
I'm going to, there's people coming here, or people, there's like, blue angel.
Blue-eyed people? What the fuck? Okay, what?
Okay,
Let's see if I know what that is.
also going to,
Yeah, also give me either a nature or arcana check.
Okay.
Or history, honestly. Any of those would be applicable.
What else, darling? Sorry, what?
Take a bardic inspiration.
I'm so fed up.
Just take your fucking bardic inspo. Ugh.
23.
23. Those are naiads. Water nymphs.
They're good guys, right?
They're not bad people. But they are definitely fae.
Ah.
So, they're probably worth treating as you would any other fae. They are, the sort of aquatic counterparts to the chthonic lampads you met as you left the bridge.
All right. Everyone be respectful. Be very careful what you say or agree to if they ask you something, please. If anything, just don't talk. I'll talk. Please. Just in case. She's more of saying that. He's more of saying that towards Barnaby.
What?
Just don't.
As you guys
You're
are making
too
this
literal.
plan, these naiads are drawing closer to the dome. And you see one of them kind of step forward, this sort of feminine form. This sort of shimmering blue, almost elemental looking body. Although much, much more structurally sound than any water elemental you've seen. Very distinctively feminine, with a clear face, high cheekbones, deep-set eyes, a long pointed nose. This woman leans down against the dome and presses what you imagine is her ear to the surface of it, and you can see her face just kind of pressing against the transparent surface. And you hear the very softest whisper come from her. Hello.
I got this, fellas.
Is this
How
in
attractive is
common or
this?
Sylvan?
This isn't Sylvan.
How attractive is this Naya? Just out of curiosity.
She's a nymph. She's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Aldrin's like busting out of that bitch like, hello there, darling.
And
I am Aldrin.
you see her jump back. Oh goodness. The other naiads behind her, a mixture of male and female shapes, they all kind of startle at your appearance.
My apologies, my apologies.
And as you sweep out into the rain, bedhead, hair askew,
He's always
fucking
natural
sweated
bedhead.
from yesterday's hike. You're like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no, he has stuff to clean himself. No, he has a clean.
Would you have
cleanser
cleaned
stone.
yourself after 16 hours of hiking
Yes,
yesterday?
Aldrin cares
All
about
right,
his
okay.
appearance.
All right.
He would have been like, ah.
And then
And
collapse.
slumped.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh yeah, he knows prestidigitation. Yeah.
So
he's-
you step out into the rain with a flourish, and they all kind of startled, step backwards. And the naiad at front, you hear her gasp a little bit. You're like, oh my goodness. I am sorry. I did not know there was anyone inside.
Yes, no worries, no worries. Just we were resting after a long, weary day of travel.
Under a stone.
So it's
How
magic.
curious.
Mm-hmm.
So round, of course it is. Hello.
It's going well.
You will see the other naiads kind of regrouping and kind of stepping up to join her. They'll each sort of extend their hands one at a time and kind of offer their greeting. I think. Let me see here if I can get some names for you. You are speaking with Laralim. She tells you, you may call me Laralim. My friends and I thought we might come see what was washing out of the highlands with the rain. Are you heading north or south?
That's an excellent question. Pulls out his map. Whatever his map says, that's what she tells me. Because I've been looking for it and I can't find it. So
you're going south.
Okay.
It should be in references, isn't it?
No, it is not there.
Yeah.
I have checked.
Well, I can fix that. Give me one moment. So you tell her that you're heading south, and she says, "Oh, so then you've washed out of the highlands.
Yes.
We found
Might
you."
I say, so thankfully at your feet, my lady. You and your company. Devastatingly stunning.
Already landed on a real thick.
Yep.
I will say, the 6 of them all seem very receptive.
Good day for Aldrin.
Great day, Paul.
She will continue. There's been a great many things washing up from the south, but you're the first treasure we've seen come down this way.
Treasure, darling, you're the bounty of the sea. I can see that very clearly.
We have little to do with the sea, but you
Oh.
flatter nonetheless.
Or the river, whichever water.
There are many rivers, many of which lead down below. She'll kind of gesture down the slope and towards the very distant lake that John caught sight of earlier, and which you were just now becoming aware of on the far side of the distant aqueduct. Perhaps you'd be inclined to join us. It's not very far.
Oh, dear, as much as I would love to, I cannot. It's like I have children with me. I have to make sure they are safe.
We will see to the children. Wow.
How long do you think this would take?
It is a short walk, a mere 2 days
Oh, 2
to the
days.
south. But you're heading south, aren't you?
I'm gonna insight check this though.
Good call.
Oh fuck. It's a bad one.
She's so pretty.
So pretty. Look at those boobies.
Water titties. They're distracting you.
What's the rest of the party doing while he's out here just
Those
putting moves on this
fly,
lady?
and neither can she.
I'm just gonna avert my eyes from all that.
Barnaby's
over
the
there.
only one that can understand what Aldrin's saying.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
I
She doesn't understand what's going on, but she definitely understands what's going on.
You're gonna see Barnaby putting in his earplugs. That's
We have
not fair.
a very strict schedule to maintain. As much as I would
Oh,
Love.
no.
adore to join you, I cannot.
Schedules are no fun. She gives you a very pouty face. One of the other ones will step up beside her and is like, "Are you sure we couldn't persuade you for a short detour?"
Take a short detour to the river very close to us.
And that's where we lose Aldrin forever.
I'm gonna do another insight check. They're being very persuasive now. He's like, wait, this is bad. My horny brain can't comprehend.
Quit thinking with the wrong head.
This is beautiful. You start thinking about it, and then those water titties just.
Yeah, he's just like, as I said, there's a river nearby.
The streams here are all shallow and rocky, but our lake is calm and sweet.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
So
My lady, you're gonna have me in tears. I do not want to say no, but I have to.
She's gonna very gently caress the side of your face. And she's gonna say to you, well, I will not forget this meeting. Even if we cannot entertain you for long. I do hope your errands passes without too much trouble. But if you ever find yourself back up this way, please.
Where are you at again? With the lake?
They will point again down the slope towards the distant, still waters.
Is it on his map?
No, it's not.
It can be.
Honestly, as he's like kind of rubbing the sleep out of his eyes and like looking around, it's like, oh, there's a lot of actual terrain here that's not on this map. You can see like some distant shimmering lights of what could be like villages or other gatherings, and you can see these like rocky hills, this like deep, very misty forested valley on the far side of the lake that kind of stretches further south in parallel with your current route. You know what I mean? There's this aqueduct that seems to like kind of cut across the slope here. There's a lot more down here than Kaisimian mentioned. Huh.
Well,
Anywho.
the riverbeds may be rocky, but I am soft if you would like to reconsider.
I'll say give me a persuasion check.
Another nat one!
Oh no!
you hear. I mean, you can use inspiration if you want to.
I will.
The third one in a row. That's the limit.
That's it. We're done. There we go. 15 plus 9. So 24.
The second naiad kind of chimes in here. He's like, "Are you sure we won't be distracting you from your important errand for too long?"
No, this is perfect.
Oh no!
They'll begin to kind of take some measured steps backwards, still watching you with these core little smiles on their faces, and one will reach out a hand to you as they begin
right.
to.
Last insight check. Real quick. God damn it. 5. He's going.
They're so hot.
Before Aldrin starts walking, he just hears from inside the bubble. Aldrin, you're sending them away, right?
Yes! Yep.
Okay, why are you walking into the forest?
It's okay, I'll be back!
Is Noelle just calling out through the bubble?
I can't leave.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I rolled insight on Aldrin, and I rolled a 4. He's sending him away.
I think if the naiads hear, another voice from in the bubble, they say, "Do you have friends in there?"
Yes, they're boring. You don't.
She sounded lovely.
Oh, she's lovely, but she's taken, unfortunately.
Oh, that won't do.
I know. You're telling me. I've been barking up the wrong tree this whole time.
No! Barnaby's the only one that understands what's happening!
And Barnaby's just like, la 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 la, I can't hear this.
I'm hearing that foul talk that's going on over there.
Yeah, Aldrin, you follow them into the forest?
Yep. He rolled terrible insight. He's going
Aldrin,
for
wait.
it.
Okay.
And like 5 minutes pass and he's still not back.
Wait.
Oh.
I did. Oh no, the sending stones to his lord, so I guess he can tell his lord why he died. Alright.
Well,
Alright.
Shit.
You know what happens to poor little wolf?
I guess he'll die doing what he loved. Do we want to take a break real quick?
I mean, I want to know what happens still. Don't leave me in suspense.
So, Aldrin, you.
I'm on team break, by the way. I need to pee.
Alright, team break, team break.
Okay. We will give us the conclusion of Aldrin and the Naiads after the break. Give it 10
I
minutes.
can't wait. Alright, cheers back.
Oh, I don't
Hell
want
yeah.
to die.
So, Aldrin walks to his death, accompanied by some watery bants. You go with the naiads. You follow them into the forest. And
Weren't you the one that told us to be careful?
he was.
They had really big water titties, Burberry. I don't think there was anything you could do.
He's horny. He is a horny man. Beautiful women are his weakness. And occasionally a beautiful man.
There's a couple of them in there as well.
Exactly.
They are...
He was doomed.
They are walking with you in their midst. And there's definitely some undertones to the conversation that Aldrin has already picked up on that continue as you follow them. And eventually you find yourself kind of stepping out from amongst the trees and into the shallows of a small stream. And you see these naiads begin to back into the stream with their kind of hands outstretched, kind of pulling you in almost gently as they kind of step deeper and deeper into the water and seem to almost disappear into
For what it's
the river
worth.
as they go.
Noelle did watch all this go down. She didn't understand what was being said, but she definitely understands. I would give it 2 minutes before I cast Ascending.
Okay. I'm gonna give one more insight. Come on, you dumb hunks.
So whatever 2 minutes have passed, Blood.
No. Nat 20!
Gotta balance out all those ones.
Yeah, really.
So horny.
Is that all? Is that all?
I will say, as you reach the bank of the river and the naiads turn to you and offer their hands to you, beckoning you to follow them, you do have a flash in the back of your minds. This faint, distant warning of caution when it comes to nymphs. They can be tricksy, but they're also really hot.
Really hot wins. Yeah.
And for what it's worth, this feels pretty part and parcel for your previous nymph interactions. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. So follow them in.
Yep, he'll follow them in then.
And as you do, you find yourself stepping into this stream. And at first, it is kind of a shock to the system. This like frigid, cold mountain water. But you very quickly feel warmth kind of surround you. And you can't see them. They have completely melted almost into the water. But you can definitely feel bodies surrounding you. Touching you.
Touching you. Woo-hoo.
Undressing you.
Oh no, he has his castaway armor. He just
Pulls with cord.
And you hear in your ear this like kind of bubbly murmur like, ooh, how fancy. You know, these like little purr from the naiads. They gonna keep going.
nope.
I'm gonna say give me a performance check.
22. He has a +9.
Okay.
Good to know.
So Aldrin.
Sorry, cats.
The laugh from across the
Distant,
house.
Look at Rose.
distant cackle.
Sorry, I was putting the strawberries away in the fridge.
So, Aldrin, you know this has to be a sight to any onlookers. I mean, you are
Fucking the water.
naked, thrusting into a river, floating in the stream, swirling and turning, but you know what you're feeling, and then, oh, gods. Is it something?
Does he breathe?
They keep your head above water. You're able to breathe, but the rest of you is being finessed by 6 pairs of hands. And more. It is an
I mean, I
experience.
guess that's one of the upsides of they're being underwater. Is you can't tell exactly how many people are participating at this point.
It feels like more, but yeah, I mean, it's something. I mean, nymphs are one thing, but naiads might be a new favorite. This is great. I'm going to say go ahead and give me a perception check while this is happening.
We roll low, we know.
Oh, there's also the secret third option, which
Oh,
is they're just going to steal
unnatural-
all your stuff.
Oh no, 21.
21. Okay. I think in the midst of all of this, you would catch sight of one of these naiads that has sort of pulled herself out of the stream and is sort of lounging on the riverbank in the rain and is just sort of carefully arranging your clothes and your armor and your weapons and
Honey,
just kind of like looking over
come back
everything.
here.
And, you know, when you catch sight of her, you see her just kind of like hold up a hand like, ooh, and she fucking dives back in. You do catch this a couple of times. I mean, there's definitely some interest in what you're wearing. And there is something in the back of your mind through all of this, you know, a half cogent thought that's kind of a memory almost. It kind of comes back to you. This, oh yeah, no, naiads. They're big on shiny. They like treasure.
Oh, he's a big
Oh,
shiny
God.
boy.
And then you just lose yourself in the moment again. I think when it's all said and done, I mean, you're probably there half an hour to an hour, probably.
Well, 2 minutes into
I
this,
think happened 2 minutes.
no one would have said anything.
Yeah, what would you say?
Not now.
I didn't say anything.
He just hears the boop, boop, boop. You
I
have
mean, I
one
don't know where they
minute.
would have even been in 2 minutes. You probably wouldn't even been to the river.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't you worry about me.
Are you sure you're all right?
I am about to be.
I don't know how you fuck water, but good luck, buddy. There's my sending.
Thank you.
And Aldrin will emerge from the
Victorious?
trees, soaking wet, with a big smile on his face.
Is any of my stuff missing?
With that perception check now, you would definitely catch them and kind of pull them back into the fray before anything disappears. But there was interest, for sure.
Welcome back to the dome.
Thank you.
And he's out. And half an hour later, the watch ends. And it's time to wake up.
I feel refreshed today.
I feel like I lost half an hour of sleep waiting for you.
Oh, you were waiting for me, dear? You
I
could have
thought you
joined
might
us.
be dead.
No! I've slept with nymphs before, naiads are very similar.
Okay,
They just
well,
wanted to steal my stuff.
Good to know for the future, Aldrin. Alright. Do we get a full rest?
You will get a long rest in, yes.
Okay. My exhaustion is gone.
Don't tell the children.
I don't know why I would.
What?
Nothing.
Good morning, children.
Good morning, children.
Morning. Coffee?
Yes.
Wait, you got laid?
No.
How?
No.
Kyron's still
No.
talking about
Kyron
the
like goes
foulness.
from Aldrin to Noelle. It's like, no.
No, look elsewhere.
No, there was no laying to be had.
Well, I mean, yes, because
deception.
you laid in water, you drowned, but
I'm rolling a deception.
Still not sure how that would
With
even
disadvantage because Burberry is really blowing you up.
work. How does Burberry even know?
16.
I was awake when they left.
Oh, okay.
Because I rolled that 4 that I thought they were just seeing off.
Mm,
Came back.
Jesus fucking
yeah, hard to
Christ.
miss.
gotcha.
They both know.
No, Kyron looks confused and just eventually just waves you off. It's like, coffee, please. And Endymion, meanwhile, he looks at Burberry and then looks back at you. He keeps getting nat 20s. I don't know what to tell you.
Smart kid.
And I'm sorry, Shadi. I rolled a 13 for who I am today, so
That's
It's
fair.
the rotten one.
No, there was no. Only sleep. Only sleeping tonight. Yes. Here, have
well, I rolled a nat 1 on my insight, so
okay, fine. Well, you really shouldn't take naps in rivers.
the water was
That's
quite refreshing. I
good
needed to
advice in general.
clean off all the dirt.
Well, we should probably get moving.
So, with that, you guys set off today and begin to make your way along this southern route towards your next major domain, Deepholm. And today, the rain continues. The chill persists in the air. But despite this, your trek downhill is a fairly painless one and proceeds without too much incident. By the end of the day, you guys are now considerably closer to that broken bridge-like structure, which you can now see about 20 miles off is definitely an old aqueduct. There is mist kind of cascading up from the base of sort of the western side of this kind of dilapidated structure where water is continuously kind of streaming down from this old waterway. And you can see now that this aqueduct is actually feeding that lake you caught sight of the previous night. But, camped as you are on the slopes, on the eaves of the mountains, under the branches of this misty pine forest, you guys pass a long rest without incidents, pick up the next day, continue moving.
I will say at some point yesterday, Noel would have just, like when Aldrin was on his own, just stepped up to him and just been like, okay, I have to know. How,
You know what?
How do you even, with water? In my
Oh, no, their
experience,
bodies
it's
are
not
quite
a very good medium for that sort of thing.
No, it was wonderful. Their bodies account for that.
I see. Well, I guess whatever works.
I recommend it. You try it sometime. Just make sure to watch your thing.
I'll think about it.
At some point during the day, you guys pass a stream, and Aldrin, you just see like a little hand kind of flutter fingers at you from under the water.
Go flutter fingers back. Do a little wink.
The second day
Yeah.
of travel. Could I get a D100 roll, please?
Nope, I got you.
As the rains begin to let up and the sun comes back out, starting to feel kind of an almost balmy kind of humidity kind of take you. An 8? Oh,
Eight?
God. Wow. That's a low one.
Mm-hmm. Single digits.
So, as you guys break camp, as the weather begins to kind of clear up over the course of the morning, the mists that kind of have washed over the valley over the past couple of days begin to lift a little bit. And you can see in the distance, beyond this massive stone structure, which is now about a day away from you, you can see in the distance beyond that, those clusters of lights kind of become visible as the mists are lifting. And you can see that these clusters are a decent bit bigger than they appeared through the small windows in the fog you've had over the past couple of days. They have these sort of stretching, kind of sprawling shapes across the landscape. I'll say give me a perception check, anyone who's kind of sussing those out.
Sure.
Unnatural 20.
21 total.
No.
Much lower, like 5.
Okay. I will say then, Noelle, I think this kind of jogs a memory from your travels. There is something kind of familiar about this sprawl of light. And you kind of remember as you were sort of making your way through the mountains towards Gosefheim. You remember this like high pass and kind of looking down one night from your campsite and kind of seeing this like logging camp that was kind of like sprawled out across a valley floor. And it was just this cluster of irregularly kind of organized, campfires and torches and sconces and various makeshift lighting, kind of all over the place down there. Very much in the same vein as these clusters of distant light that you're seeing now. This is very, very similar to a sort of an impromptu campsite, a very large one. And Aldrin, you would be drawing from somewhat similar memories, although somewhat different context. These have sort of jogged your recollections of war camps. Sort of sprawl that a small army might take on as it sets up in a region.
Following the same route. My map is good. If you ever doubted it.
Never did.
So, with an 8, as you guys begin your trek this morning, a couple hours after breaking camp, you would all hear heavy, metallic footsteps through the trees up ahead of you. This kind of haggard clunk, Klum, 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 klum. Several sets of them.
Metallic.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it does not.
Children?
Let's get into the... Are we in the woods still?
Yes, it is still
Does
forest.
it sound like they're heading closer? If we wait for a couple seconds?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay. Get off the path and hide real quick just to see.
Okay. I'll say go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Oh, damn.
Unnatural 20.
Nice. 27 for Noel.
Nice.
This is stealth.
Stealth.
Yep.
Barnaby, take a bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
Barnaby fails at the stealth roll, but just pretends to be one of the whatever's walking up to us. Like, yeah, I'm totally a robot.
8.
8.
Aldrin's not good at stealth.
So,
He is.
neither is Barnaby, surprise, surprise. I rolled, with disadvantage, I rolled a 2 and a 1.
Oh, cool.
And then Bardic Inspiration gave it 5, so that's a nat 1 plus my stealth, which is 5, plus the 5 from Bardic Inspiration, so 11. But still nat 1.
I mean, that one doesn't affect anything but attacks that way, but that's still pretty bad.
Guys, I said hide.
I am
What?
hiding, has his arms up in the air, pretending to be a tree.
You try hiding in this armor.
Okay. So,
It's cast off
Noelle
armor.
and Burberry are definitely hidden. Aldrin and Barnaby are definitely not hidden. Kyron and Endymion, I think, literally just go invisible.
Good.
And you see, kind of pushing through the trees, a group of creatures, much smaller than the heft that their footsteps would imply. These creatures are about the size of a dwarf, but a very wiry, very angry-looking dwarf. These things have kind of this hunched posture, humanoid faces, kind of wiry white hair and beards. All of them wearing these characteristic, very distinctive, like heavy metal, like iron shoes. And on each of their heads, this sort of long, pointed, crimson hat that is pulled pretty low over their heads, kind of down to their brows. Each of them carrying these, pretty long, like almost like a scythe or a sickle, in their hands. And over their shoulders, they are wearing these like makeshift tabards. This sort of dirty white smock, almost trimmed with blue, and emblazoned on it, there is an emblem. This sort of very roughly, like hand-drawn emblem of these like very kind of cartoonish triangle shapes of mountains, underneath which there is like a series of kind of basic water waves, and above them there is a very small crooked drawing of a crown, each of them drawn by a different hand, probably the hand of the creature wearing it. None of them uniform in any way, but all of them clearly trying to represent the same symbol.
Does this look like the symbol of high water?
I'd say give me a history check.
18.
Yup.
Uh-oh. Okay. Aldrin will try to be.
So, as these creatures are walking, you see 3 of them kind of moving in a group together, kind of walking up through the trees, kind of cutting their way through the brush, and just kind of grousing to themselves as they march. And there's a short tail end of a conversation you kind of pick up on. You can kind of hear this Sylvan speech. A couple of you would understand it. I don't understand why we've been impressed into any of this. That's all I'm saying. It's bollocks. We've got no stake in any of this. Says one of them. Second one chimes in and says, "You heard the Commandant? We serve at the Lord High Water's command, at his privilege. And we serve until his needs are met. But it's not even his domain. It's his unclaimed lands. We're free to do as we please out here. It's not what the Commandant said. The Commandant can piss off. Fucking git." And as those two are sort of going back and forth between each other, one of them kind of chimes in, "Hey! What's all this then?" And Aldrin, this little dude is looking straight at you and Barnaby.
Aldrin will step out of the woods.
He like brandishes his little sickle at you. He's like, "Hey, get out from back there! What's you trying to pull?"
Oh, nothing. Just, you sounded very loud. We didn't know what you were.
Yeah, whoa. Barnaby stands up. The third one is just like, "Oh, blimey, you're a big chap, ain't you?" Well.
Mom fed me well.
He speaks too. Well.
Yep.
Who do we have here then? Huh? Announce yourselves. Good and proper.
My name is Aldrin, and I am just traveling with my companion, Barnaby.
Name's Barnaby Ray Otis III, and this is my compatriot Bark. He's a dog.
Bark. Aldrin, I'll say give me a deception check.
This is my one traveling companion. The only one.
21. Okay. So the first of the creatures says, "Yeah, all right. So say you are this Aldrin then. What are you doing out this way? Where are you going? What's all this fuss about traveling then, eh?
Oh, we are.
Seasonable time of year. You on vacation?"
I wish. No, I am making my way to Deepholm.
Deepholm, is it? Oh. Well, hate to be the bearer of bad news, Aldrin, if that is your name.
Mm-hmm.
But Deepholm is under a bit of a siege at the moment. They're not really taking visitors. You might want to go back the way you came, if you know what's good for you.
Who's attacking them?
The illustrious Lord of High Water.
Does he stand extra, like, tall and proud when he says that?
No, he looks pissed off and very unhappy with this as he relays the news. He's like waving his hands, basically finger quotes, as he says this. Whole bloomin' legion of their lot marched up here not too long ago. Set up camp, got all pissy about things, started impressing folks into their service, got us combing the forest for God knows fucking what. And the second one chimes in, is like, "You fucking heard the Commandant, you know exactly what.
What are you looking for?
Fucking kids is some shit, I don't know. None of my business.
Looking for children? That's a weird thing to be looking for.
I want no fucking hag, exactly my plan. I don't work for hags. What's he want with kids, eh?" second one chimes in again. He says, "The Lord of Highwater's commandant informed us that there was a bit of a conflict with a new neighbor of his. Apparently, in the interest of smoothing things over, he requires these children as a show of good faith. So we're to find them and make sure they get to Highwater right quick and proper."
Insight check. 9.
I mean, clearly these guys have been sort of recruited by this commandant figure, and whatever they're telling you is what they've been told.
Well, I mean,
It's clear enough that one of them is very uninterested in all of this. The other two are taking it a lot more seriously.
I think he's addressing the other guy. It's like, well, if you're clearly having a bad time, I feel like you're far enough away you could just leave and not come back.
That's what I've been fucking saying this whole time, but these two idiots are like, no, the commandant will have our heads. The commandant this, the commandant
Commandant
that.
can't find you in the Feywilds. The Feywilds is best. There's so many places to go. So many places to see. You should
Exactly my fucking point, you gits. And the second one at this point, he says, listen, look, all right, I'm not trying to make enemies with Highwater, all right? I like my head right where it is. We do this, maybe we carry ourselves a little favour, eh? Doesn't sound so bad, does it? And the first one just kind of...
What does Aldrin know about the Lord of Highwater?
I mean, not a lot. Until very recently, he was one of the most sort of outer kind of frontier words of the Archfey in the Summerlands. And you do know from the very brief correspondence you've had with Caesimian that Highwater did not appreciate Caesimian marching an army past his borders. But he hasn't said much more than that.
Well, if he, why is he attacking, the lady? Wouldn't you think he'd be attacking the other people?
Well, other people.
Oh, I thought they had mentioned them. Never mind, he would not have said that.
Oh, they don't know shit.
Never mind, he'll say nothing.
They mentioned the kids because they were ordered to find kids.
Well, this guy sounds like a dud. If I could give you a recommendation, I'd recommend for you to leave all this behind you and enjoy your lives. For I don't think you'll find what you're looking for or the favor of the Lord you're after.
That's what I've been saying this whole fucking time. First one will say. I'm going to say give me a persuasion check with advantage since this first one is kind of singing the same tune.
21.
21. The second one looks a little flustered at this proposition. He says, I'm not looking to make an enemy of any lords around here, alright? I like everything right where it is. And the first one says,
Lord, I bet they'll even know who you are.
Exactly my fucking point. I say we find some kids, fucking dice them up nice and pretty, put them in a box and send him his way. What's the difference to him, eh?
Fuck the kids. He wants children. Why still look for the children? Just be on with your lives and days.
I wouldn't say no to dicing something up. The third one will chime in. It's like, yeah, it's been a while since we cut something good. Made it bleed. You ain't seen any kids around here, have you?
Nope.
No.
Deception.
Oh no, Barnaby!
Can I stealth cast the thing?
Ooh, that's a tricky thing.
I got a 24.
Can I?
24? Okay.
I got a nat 1 plus 1.
Please, before he finishes, can I stealth cast the thing?
Okay, what are you trying to cast?
I wanna do the enhance ability. I wanna give him
It's a touch spell, isn't it?
It is touch, yeah.
Fuck me.
Alright.
That's a nat 1 plus 1.
You just see Aldrin just turn towards you, Barnaby, and he's just like What have I said about talking? What have I said about
Nothing.
speaking?
Oh, you
said
shut the
don't
fuck up!
Speak.
One of them brandishes his scythe at you. Shut the fuck up! What'd you say? As he points to Barnaby.
Hey, don't you go pointing swords at people? That's not nice.
Yo, you said you ain't seen any kids, but I seen your face, fella. You seen some fucking kids.
Oh, fuck this.
Yeah, they're about your height and look like you too.
Is that supposed to be a jab?
Aldrin's gonna just Sunforger detonation these fuckers, and he's gonna throw his fucking mace at them.
Okay, so you reach for the hammer. There's definitely like, oh, what's all this thing? And all right, give us an initiative roll.
It was headed this way anyways, let's be honest.
I
I'm
got
definitely not
a
saying that.
24 persuasion. I have a +9 in persuasion, Barnaby.
And if they asked me, they would have gotten the same result I
No,
was
you weren't
getting.
supposed
one
to say
word.
anything.
One word was all it took. Nope.
One word, and all my progress went.
No, I got a 26 on this initiative, by the way.
17.
Okay,
I got a 19.
19. Okay,
I got a 25. I rolled it at 20.
good shot.
I got a
Okay.
14.
Okay. So good news. You guys are all basically going before these guys.
Oh, that's not
They
good
rolled
news
a
for
6.
them.
Good news for you. So, Aldrin, you wanted to resolve this Sunforger attack first?
Yep.
Tell me what happens. What does this thing do?
All right, so he's gonna throw his battle axe, and it is going to explode in fiery death at their feet,
Okay.
and they need to make a dex save.
Dex save. That is a 15. That is a 9. That is a 3. So 1 success, 2 failures.
Yes. And
'Kay.
66. Alrighty, so that is 20 damage.
20 damage, 10 halved.
Yep.
Okay. So there is a small blast as if from a fireball as Aldrin hurls his warhammer, or is it an axe or a hammer?
Warhammer.
Warhammer. At the ground at their feet, detonating on impact and engulfing them all in flames with this shit as they fucking begin to burn. The Sunforger then immediately, I think it whizzes back to your hand, right? Or is it an action?
I think it's like a bonus action at the beginning of my next turn.
Afterwards, you can use an axe to cause a weapon to reappear in your empty hand. Oh, it's an action. Okay.
Oh, that's an action?
Apparently.
What the fuck? That's terrible.
Well, Eldritch Blast
I mean,
time.
you can just go pick it up, too.
Yeah, there's that. So, that is Aldrin's turn. Anything else? Bonus action, movements?
Yes, I have the face step, and I'm trying to figure out what Summer does.
Summer phase step? I believe...
Oh, okay. So immediately after you use your face step, I will use my face step towards them. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of you takes 5 fire damage equal to your charisma modifier.
Okay, so they're going to take another 5 damage as you teleport towards them into another burst of fire. So you are now surrounded by these 3 guys as you teleport into their midst over your hammer. You can basically just pick it up.
Yeah, so they'll just pick it up and...
Fucking ready to throw down. Okay.
Yep.
So that's 25 and 15 as far as the damage goes. Who's next? Everybody's going before these guys, so whoever wants to go next.
Are they within a 20-foot radius sphere? These guys?
They are. Aldrin is now standing in the middle of them.
He wouldn't be in the middle. I think he'd be like right in front of them, so they couldn't like approach where the party was hiding.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, if possible, I will center a sphere on them without hitting Aldrin.
Okay.
Yeah, because mine it has a 20-foot radius, the Sunforger detonation.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool. I'm gonna use a spell I haven't cast yet. Synaptic Static.
Ooh.
So Noelle will
Saving
summon.
throws.
Noelle will summon a 20-foot radius sphere of crackling red electricity, and each creature in the space must make an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. 18.
That does save.
11. And another 18.
That seems unlikely. Okay. Well, they'll take half of this.
Okay. So 86.
I'm just gonna use the dice roller.
And then one of them is taking a d6 from all attacks and ability checks for the next minute.
Yeah. Oh, damn, that's a good roll. 35 total.
Okay. So one of them falls to his knees, clutching his head, screaming and beginning to choke on his spittle as you see veins kind of pulsing and throbbing on his face before blood just out of his ears and he falls over dead.
Didn't know it did that. I was like, I'll try a new poem.
The other two which succeeded their saves, so 35 halved is going to be 17, right?
Yeah.
They are still standing, although one of them looks like delirious, like he is not long for this world.
Okay. That's... I mean, I do reveal myself. I assume to cast a spell.
Definitely, yeah.
So
but I
will...
think they are very preoccupied with the pounding psychic energy tearing through their skulls.
I'll just close a little distance and get a little closer into the battle.
Okay.
That's it.
Right, who's next?
So how many are there total?
There are now 2.
No, I shouldn't. You know what? I'm pretty sure Barnaby and John have this. I'll hang back.
All right.
No, go ahead.
Fair enough.
I'll shoot.
All right, bang bang.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Barnaby's gonna finish him off before I ever get a chance.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to hit them, Barnaby, you're probably killing them.
That's a 26 for each. I rolled 12 and 12.
That's going to hit.
Alright, so damage is gonna... I'm not using Great Weapon Master since they look a little wobbly. Well, you know, Sharptooth or whatever it is. Let's see that. $16 for the first hit.
Yep, that is another dead little red cap.
And then...
That leaves 1 left.
Not for long.
Probably not.
19 for the second hit.
19. Yeah, no, that's 3 dead red caps. So yeah, that lasted for all of 6 seconds. Two fiery explosions, 1 pulse of crippling psychic energy, and 2 gunshots later, the 3 red caps lie dead at your feet.
Nell's gonna walk up to the one whose brain she melted. Just kind of like move his skull with her foot and just be like, ugh. I didn't think it did
Feels
that.
like jelly. Like the bone doesn't feel solid anymore.
I didn't realize how powerful that was. Those were bad guys, right, Aldrin?
They were trying to abduct the children.
Okay, I feel more justified. All right.
Children,
Don't
We're here.
use that one willy-nilly.
Okay. where are you?
Hiding.
You can come out, kids.
Kyron's not going to answer. He's hiding.
All right. Aldrin will use the earring of message
Okay.
and be like, Kyron, you can come out, please, now.
I'm doing what you said.
What? Well, no, wait, you gotta say that again. I said a word that I just heard. Shh.
I'm doing what you said.
And you're doing a wonderful job, but the need is over, and you can come out now.
You'll feel a tap on your hip. He's still invisible. You feel the hair slide out from under your hand.
Ah, okay. Yep,
Stop.
he's there. I can't see you. I'm sorry. I need to get invisible goggles when I get back so I can find you.
We should probably keep moving. I bet those gunshots attracted attention. Also, his deathly wail.
Yep, we should keep going. Our current path could be interesting.
Oh yeah, what did they have to say?
They said that Deep Holm, which was our next stop where we were actually going to stop and take a break, is currently under siege by Highwater, the people we needed to avoid. And those guys were working for Highwater.
Oh. So we should be careful, watch our steps, make sure we don't attract any more attention.
Yes. Kyron?
You feel the tap again.
Okay. How much longer until that's done?
You said hide. So
hiding.
I'm hiding.
Alright, fair enough. Let's keep going. Thank
You're
you.
gonna hear Endymion's voice too. Who were they? You said Highwater?
Mm-hmm.
What do they want with us?
Let's not find out. Probably to pull your father's arm for some sort of negotiation or some sort. So,
Oh, like hostages.
yes. Precisely.
Great. Should we keep going towards those lights?
Are the lights the, what you were describing as, like, the army camps?
They reminded you of kind of the sprawl of a war camp that you've seen in the past.
Probably not. Let me refer to my...
Seemed like some kind of temporary civilization setup, whatever that means out here.
Yes, it sounds like that is Highwater's forces in front of us. They definitely made it. They definitely took the long way around to get there, which is interesting. I wonder if they're doing an attack from the rear as well as the front.
Well, does this change our route?
Could.
But the map. I thought it was infallible.
You fool!
Barnaby, you can fly, right?
Yep.
Would you fly up there for me and tell me what you see?
With your special eyes.
Should we do a way to like make him invisible or something, so it's not just
Yes.
a big beacon?
No, that's literally what he was about to do.
Oh,
is
okay.
cast visibility on
Good.
Barnaby.
Is
So-
that
Oh,
one
no,
of
this is
your?
weird.
Is that one of your warlock abilities?
Warlock spell slots.
Since it's 5th level, you can make multiple people invisible.
Who all wants to be invisible?
Are you asking because you want someone to go with it?
I just can make everyone invisible right now, so.
4 people.
4 people.
with a 5th level slot.
I will be invisible. Barnaby will be invisible. Noelle will be
No.
invisible.
No. Not me.
Why
John
don't we
will be
make
invisible.
John invisible?
All right.
'Cause he's kind
This
of
is really weird. I can't see my fingers
Is
or my arm.
is
Biggest.
Endymion invisible?
Yeah, Endymion and Chiron are both invisible.
Oh, so Chiron made Endymion invisible too?
Fancy.
Bravo.
Basically,
And
you can
then-
make everyone except for one person invisible in our party.
It will be
Literally.
me. I will not be invisible. Thank you very
All right,
much.
Barberry's invisible. We're all invisible. Noelle's by herself in the forest.
All right.
Noelle, as you stand alone in the woods, you look out into the distance and see a big old wolf going, "Hey."
A wolf.
Because you're
Oh
She
my
looking
got,
God,
you
I'm
got
allowed
the
to
big
shoot
red.
that wolf?
She got the red cloak, and she's alone. She's in the
Oh.
woods.
Oh, I see.
That was a joke. Anyways, Barnaby, go ahead and give me a perception check
All
as you
right.
fly into the air invisibly.
I've got 110 sessions without going invisible. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to break my streak.
17.
17. Okay. So, looking out, I mean, these lights are a distance away. And from high up, you can definitely tell that the closest set of them, which is, I mean, you would guess probably days of travel. Still, like you guys still need to get past this aqueduct. The closest set of lights is a few days away, and there is or there are, excuse me, additional clusters of lights even further in the distance beyond that. Somewhere in, potentially over 100 miles away, at the very furthest as you continue to ascend. You can also see there is a smattering of light. What looks like a small camp off to the west, to your right, as you're facing south. Sort of nestled in the foot of some mountains, kind of on the far side of that lake, like probably 3 or 4 days away. But there is a pretty sizable gap between the two closest sets of lights. And you can see that there is that very misty, foggy forest that sort of stretches southward and sort of protrudes towards your position between those two campsites. But at this
Sounds
distance, it's hard to make out much more detail than saying relative position.
The lake that he's seeing, is that the lake of the guy of high water in the mountains?
Oh, the lake that the naiads pointed you to?
No. Like, you had just, when you described there was mountains and then in high water there was like a lake.
High water is still a very long ways off. You could not even begin to see high water at this distance. The lake that you see, which is probably about a day away now, is the lake that the naiads pointed you to and said that that's where they were from, basically. And that is basically on the other side of the aqueduct, like on the south side of the aqueduct. And it looks like it's actually fed by the drainage from that structure.
Would the path into the foggy forest be the most direct and most hidden route?
You could probably either skirt the camps or go straight through the foggy forest. They both head south, right? You're kind of looking down this very wide, kind of like shallow valley. And there is sort of a line of hills that runs down the middle of it. On one side of it, you have kind of the camps that are sort of dotting the landscape in the distance. And on the other side of those hills, you have this dark, foggy forest. Either one of those paths would get you closer to Deepholm. You know, Deepholm is south. It's just kind of a question of which danger you're willing to brave, because high waters armies could be a problem, but this is the Feywild, and deep foggy forests are usually not great places to be either. So that is your call.
I will tell my discoveries to the group. And
Or Barnaby's, I guess.
yeah. Barnaby's discoveries, and because I feel like he wants to avoid the armies, just because if there's going to be a lot of them, and if they find out they're there, we'll be chased.
If they're specifically looking for the people that we are bringing with us, that's bad.
Foggy forests are also very bad.
Our alternative is wandering through unknown forest.
Yes.
That's not great. Especially in the Feywild.
Exactly.
Are there any other landmarks or things to aim for? Like, weren't we going to use Deepholm to do the whole prism effect again? Like, does that mean we are extending our journey by weeks?
No. Both either skirting the camps, like trying to keep to your current trajectory and just sneak past them, or following this valley of mist and fog and forest. Both of those are going the same direction. Uldren would be able to tell you, like, Deepholm is that way. Like, if you follow, if you move south, you will hit the border of Deepholm.
So we are going to Deepholm.
If you wanted to veer away from Deepholm, you would be wanting to bend like to the west and like through the mountains.
Well, Deepholm is under. Isn't that the debate right now? Deepholm's under siege, and they are looking for Chiron and Endymion, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So, do we even go to Deepholm was the question.
I don't know if it's the wisest thing anymore. Because I'm curious why the two camps are separated, and they're very far from high water. I don't really know.
I mean, Barnaby could fly there to check it out. Technically,
And that is a distance of days to get out that far. I mean, you guys still haven't hit the aqueduct yet, which is
the lake and aqueduct like right ahead of us?
that you would probably draw even with the aqueduct by the end of the day today.
Oh shit! So we could have gone to the lake with the nymphs.
I mean, you already know what you needed out of him.
Yeah, I mean, you've had the experience.
But has he had his fill? Never.
Insatiable.
Maybe we should just get to the aqueduct and then we can make a more informed decision, possibly.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I think that's the best thing.
We'll keep going until we get to the aqueduct.
Okay.
That's not because of the nymphs.
So, by the end of the day today, well, first off, actually, you guys did just kill 3 redcaps and did it relatively loudly. Are we taking any precautions while we are continuing our hike?
I mean, we could slow pace and stealth out the rest of the day.
Yeah, but Barnaby and Uldren will kind of ruin.
Well, if it's a group check, it doesn't mean one person fails us all.
Yeah.
And I can give
But the group
someone
check,
bardic
it's
inspiration.
more just As long as more of you pass whatever perception checks would be called for than not in this situation, that'll be enough.
It's worth a shot. I mean, we're only walking an extra hour or two.
Okay. So slow down, move stealthily, kind of stay off the road. I'll say go ahead and give me stealth checks then, everybody. And I'll roll for the kiddos since they are invisible. They have advantage.
Do I get advantage because I'm invisible?
For the first hour of the day.
It
But
doesn't
for the rest
matter,
of the day.
because I have disadvantage in my first rolls in that one, so.
Why would you have disadvantage?
Because of my armor.
Hey, join the club.
Oh, that's right.
So it'd be a 3.
Okay.
Look, we found something that Ultron and Barnaby get along with each other. We're both terrible at spells.
Well, this is called eating your words. I got an 8. Or sorry, I got a 6 and a 3, so that's a 14 for Noel.
14.
10 total. 5 plus 5.
10. 14, 10. What was Aldrin's?
3.
3. Woof, guys.
23.
23. Good job.
I don't think that's enough, Cat. We needed like 30s.
I can't do 30.
It's okay.
John, what's your dex? What's your stealth check?
What we need right now is a Lawrence pass without.
I know.
1 sec.
Then you just like an average above like 17, we probably would have been fine.
Stealth is a +8, so 21.
21, 23. So 3 failures, 2 successes. But the kids succeeded. They got big numbers. So, thankfully,
That brought our average up.
your average is brought up.
We're great on the curve.
The day passes slowly as you guys are now making a point to move quietly and carefully, staying low, staying out of the sun. And good thing, because within an hour of you guys leaving the site of that short skirmish, you guys would see a group of probably a dozen armed figures, similarly short in stature, cloaked and hooded in dark cloaks, carrying, small shields and spears. But beneath the cloaks, you do recognize that same white and blue tabard with the mountain and water emblem emblazoned on it. And you see this group kind of making their way northward along the road as you pass them kind of in the brush as you head south. Kind of stand still and watch and wait as they continue just quickly marching along their path. You don't pick up any conversation. They are quiet as they move. Noticeably quiet, honestly. They are moving in the open, but you do note that their footsteps are very faint, and they move with very, very little sound to them. And honestly, these figures kind of remind you of the Darklings that you encountered on Feral and in the Hinola Wood. It's a very similar sort of grim determination coming off of these figures.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
While Barnaby was scoping out the place and we were just like sitting there deliberating, would that have been like an hour for like a short rest, perchance?
I'm gonna say no. Because otherwise these guys would probably have caught up to you. For the sake of keeping time consistent. If you want to take a short rest during the day, that's fine.
That's okay. I was just curious.
But you just kind of see them pass you by before you kind of pick back up and continue sneaking southward. You would not encounter any more patrols over the course of the day. And by the time you set down to make camp, you guys are well off the road and kind of buried in a thicket of trees. using them as cover to obscure you from anyone who might be passing by or overhead. Could I get another D100 roll from
Yes.
somebody? Yes.
Clunk.
Clonk, clonk.
27.
27.
Guy drops a medicine ball.
I mean, it's basically just rolls.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, setting up camp, getting yourself situated, getting the dome up. Are we lighting a fire tonight?
What's the weather?
The
If
rain's
it's been
ended.
raining all day,
It is-
probably.
It was not raining today. The rain's cleared up this morning, so this would be the first real dry day you guys have had since you entered the valley.
Unless we needed to cook food, probably not. Just because the
Okay.
dome can be a decent temperature no matter what.
Okay. So, with that, I will say, who is keeping watch tonight?
I can take first watch.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
26.
26. Good shit. So Noel, you get the dome set up, you get everybody situated. No fire, no smoke trail. You guys are in the dark in a very well camouflaged spot. And on the course of your watch, you just kind of listen intently for some sign of something passing close to you by. And after about an hour, you do pick up the sound of voices and footsteps. Mingled footsteps, both humanoid and something or some things much larger and heavier. And with a 27,
26.
was it? 26? You can definitely hear a feminine lilt to the voices. You can hear age in their tone. And though you can't make out exactly what's being said in Sylvan, you can definitely detect notes of bitterness, of cruelty, and of a certain sick, dark delight in their tones that sets the hair on the back of your neck on end. You can't see them yet. You know they're somewhere southeast of your current position, or southwest, excuse me, of your current position. Maybe somewhere within a couple 100 feet away. Not necessarily coming towards you, but passing by. But they sound very, very haggish. And there's at least 4 of them. Although it sounds like an argument.
I will. I wish I could speak Sylvan so bad.
I mean, do you want some tongues?
Does that make it so I can hear them?
Aldrin's like, yes, please.
No, bad Aldrin. Bad, 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 bad.
I saw Johnny start smirking. I'm like,
Should've been
yeah,
one of
tongues
Aldrin's
lets
spells.
you understand any spoken language they hear.
That's interesting. Okay, well, I mean... I
Sorry. Just wake up Aldrin and say
I
or Barnaby.
forgot. I left myself a note. So I was like, why can't I find tongues? It's just a short word. It's because I added stuff. So it says tongues in parentheses. Neither you nor Noel have comprehend languages. Thanks, me.
the biggest failing in this campaign.
It doesn't come often, but when it does come up, it's
No, it's fine. We have tongues. We have tongues.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I wouldn't necessarily... it really does make sense to save the spell slot. I would probably nudge Aldrin awake. Not in a sensual way. Shh. Aldrin. I can't hear what you're saying. Your mic's not picking it up.
I'm trying to sleep.
Shh. I know.
Yes?
There are potentially 4 hags nearby.
Ew. Wake me up for something better than that.
Okay, listen to what they're saying. I want to know if they're gonna come closer.
I'll listen. He's listening. His eyes are still shut. Does he hear anything?
Yeah. I mean, as you focus, kind of blinking, thinking, listening, you begin to pick up these haggish voices. And yeah, no, they're definitely having an argument. These are not happy ladies. They are not pleased with anybody in the group. And just from a cursory listen, it sounds to you that they are trying to come to a decision about who is getting kicked out of their coven. You hear this bickering of, "You heard the papa. 2 of us have to go. We can't all be part of it. This is 3. The rule of 3 only." And, this other one's like, "Well, I'm not going. I'm the oldest." It's like, "You're terrible at this. You're the worst lady I've ever seen. You're absolutely hideous." He's like, "Well, thank you. But no, you won't be." Listen. And it's this constant back and forth bickering. In the midst of all of that, you'll also be able to pick up that there is another creature, possibly 2 creatures with them. Large, heavy creatures. And while you don't see them from your current position, you can definitely hear them move and shift every so often. Occasionally you hear this very deep, bassy, thrumming sound.
Doesn't sound like the creepy old man face dogs.
No.
Okay.
No, this is a much, much bigger creature.
They are arguing. He's whispering.
Sure.
I'll just repeat what he said.
Yeah.
Who's getting kicked out of the coven?
Okay. I'm glad they're not arguing about which one of them gets to eat us first. Should we move? Would that be too much noise?
Too much noise. If we can hear them talking, getting all of us up and moving.
They're
won't be
very
good.
close.
I can't stealth. And
That's
neither can
true. You just stay still.
Are you going to have your way with me? Is this
Okay.
Noel momentarily contemplates calling out to the hags.
Trying to keep everyone alive, children.
Got a fresh one right here.
I was teasing you, darling.
I
I
know.
know.
It's adorable, but we're about to die, maybe.
Well, then you should die with a pleasant thought in your head.
Not right now. Okay.
When I say we draw straws, we're not drawing your straws. Your straws are always crooked. You always cheat. I don't cheat. You take that back. Fuck you, you will be. It just keeps on. Just,
all right. Until this
raised
escalates
voices.
beyond annoying, I don't know if there's much to be done.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think Aldrin's just kind of awake listening.
I think over the course of this argument, which goes on for an hour and a half,
Wow.
there's a lot of cursing. There's a lot of cackling. There's several games proposed, all of which someone inevitably cheats at, which nullifies the result.
I feel like
And-
Aldrin, by the end, is probably invested in the.
Yeah,
the
no, I
drama.
feel like he is like, at first he's like laying there, and then you see him just like slowly wake up, and then he's just like, kind of like laying on his stomach, kicking his feet.
It's like, well, hag number 3 does have a point.
Wait, yeah.
By-
Man, I
Hag
wish
number
I had
2 just
popcorn.
keeps cheating. What a little dirty trickster.
Dirty, dirty girl.
Why is my brain getting like the most Asterian vibes?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, no.
yeah, no, 100%.
Aldrin 100% has Asterian vibes.
100%.
So, to summarize this whole situation, you listen as Miss Gracie, Miss Rosie, Miss Mary, and Sister Gail bicker for an hour and a half until finally, just by dint of attrition over the course of this argument, there are 2 rough camps that have been established. Gracie and Mary and Rosie and Gail. And they eventually decide to just throw bones for it. You hear the cackling, you hear the voices go completely quiet, you hear a handful of very out of place dice rolls clattering on stone in the distance.
Nice, good way to do it. Hopefully none of them are Wade.
And then you hear Gail and Rosie both go, "Fuck you!" And then the cursing and cackling all starts back up again. It's like, I never locked into you anyway. You surely didn't. Now get the fuck out of here, you useless bit. And they just keep going until finally you hear the voices beginning to grow dimmer as they depart. They continue screaming at each other through the forest. And it sounds as though Rosie and Gail make their way off in the company of those large creatures that Gracie and Mary are leaving without as their voices recede. And at about the 2-hour mark, you can no longer hear the sounds of haggish cursing or crowing or any heavy footfalls from whatever large creature they brought with them. And peace returns to your small campsite.
Okay, Aldrin, give me the tea.
Oh, I think he was whispering it to you like
Okay.
the whole time.
I
the
was just laying
play-by-play.
next to him on my bedroll, listening to the drama.
Yeah, no, you got like play-by-play of what was going on. Like you hear
the
me like,
only way it could have possibly be funnier if you guys were doing each other's nails.
doing each other's hair.
Yeah.
No, Aldrin's braiding Noel's hair.
It's not long enough to braid, but yeah.
Yep.
Oh, God.
I mean, you can still braid hair this long.
You
as
can
it's
put
children,
braids
like-
in it, yeah.
Yeah. It'd just be little little baby braids.
Oh. That would be cute. Okay, well. We're not dead. That's good.
Right. Well, you get
thanks.
some rest, darling. I will take next watch since I
Alright.
am more awake.
Good night, Aldrin.
Sleep sweetly, darling.
So,
On
with
top of
that,
me.
the rest of the night will pass without incident. You guys will wake after a long rest in the morning, and we will pick up there at the beginning of day 8 of your trip. You guys are drawing close to the aqueduct. You would have reached it the day before if you kept up a normal pace, but you slowed down, and for good reason. So we will hit the aqueduct on this next day of travel. And at some point in the next couple of days, you guys will need to make a decision as to your route, given the complications that have arisen on this leg of your trip. So, can we get an MVP vote for today?
I mean, it's gotta be Aldrin for me.
Yes.
He did a majority of the work today.
All right.
Yep.
Aldrin, take your RP points.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets the 1.
I have inspiration again. Hooray.
Inspiration's back. All right. And that is today's session.